skies are clear, but the elements are going to play a
success. We measure success one investor at a time.
Dear Michelin, in the last 6 years...
P.O. Box 4000-Y, Colorado Springs, Colorado.
From Malibu to Oxnard to San Luis Obispo, you're watching KADY TV 63 and KADE TV 33.
The Kingsmen of Cal Lutheran, a winning tradition of football, 25 years in the making. 2 decades of glory, complete with a national championship. A legacy of success, now history. Now the memories of a once dominant team. A new era is dawning for these past champions. The Kingsmen enter a new decade. They're playing in a new arena, the NC2A, and with a new head coach, Joe Harper. Today, the Kingsmen take on the Leopards of the University of Laverne. It is a time to celebrate. The Kingsmen bring their first victory of the season to today's homecoming battle. Will the Kingsmen win again? Carrying on the winning traditions of the past? We'll find out today as KD Sports takes you live to Mount Clef Stadium as the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen take on the Leopards of the University of Laverne.
Welcome to Cal Lutheran University, where this afternoon the Kingsmen play host to the University of Laverne. It's college football on KDTV. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Clay Morgan. It is a windy day at Mount Clef Stadium, to say the least. The skies are clear, but the elements are going to play a very big effect on this afternoon's football game. The wind is blowing, I'd estimate at least 35 miles an hour in all different directions. I'm joined now by the coach of Hueneme High School, as always, George Machado. And George, with this kind of wind, what kind of football game are we to expect, and how will this play a factor?
Well, anytime you get in a ball game where the wind is this strong, you know, you're going to have advantages and disadvantages. When you're with the wind, it's at your back, you're going to feel pretty good. When you got that wind staring at your face, it's tough, especially when you have to punt the ball, when you have to throw the ball, when the ball goes in the air. This wind will play a factor today in this ball game, Clay. Is there anything a coach can do to combat this kind of a wind? Is there anything he can tell his players? Yeah, stay in the locker room. That's about the only way you're going to combat this thing. You know, you got to come out and play in the elements. That's all you can do. It's going to be a dandy ball game. Both these teams are coming off a win last week. Laverne beat Whittier 24-14 or 28-14. Cal Lutheran's coming off a win against Claremont. So they're both in a good mood. Both coaches are in a good mood. Both teams look excited, ready to play. You got Laverne resplendent, and they look like the University of Miami out here. So, you know, and this weather kind of reminds you of Miami. So it ought to be a great game, a real exciting game to be a part of. Very quickly, Cal Lutheran must do what in order to win this football game? Obviously play well defensively against Laverne's offense. Well, Cal Lutheran's coming in this game a favorite, you know, so that's a real kind of a different role for them this year. So they're kind of excited. They cannot turn the ball over. They've got to keep the ball in their possession. They cannot make mistakes. All right, well, we spoke with both coaches, Cal Lutheran's Joe Harper and the University of Laverne's Roland Ortmeyer. Their comments when college football on KDTV continues.
Hi, we're the Hartleys from Hartley Wholesale Nursery. We're located in, what do we do?
Richard Sandstill.
You guys ready?
Hi, we're the Hartleys from Hartley Wholesale Nursery.
Grower direct prices.
I know.
We're open 7 days a week.
Okay. We're located on Highway 118 on the corner of Balcom Canyon Road, and we have grower direct prices for you. If you need to have plants for your garden, this is the place to come.
We're open from 7 to 4:30 p.m.
Hartley Wholesale Nursery.
You got that right, Mom.
Okay.
We filming?
Yes, I'm right. You said
okay.
Go.
This week at dinner,
we review the classic pizza genre.
First up, the other pizza. Bad cast, stale performance.
More expensive than an LA movie ticket.
2 thumbs down.
Now the Amici pizza. Great performance. A pizza of epic proportion for only $4.99.
A thoroughly tasty and enjoyable pizza for the whole family. 2 thumbs up. Until next time, I'm Ibervici.
And I'm Siscolani.
And we'll see you at dinner.
Amici Pizza, the end of the domino theory.
Italy. For centuries, home of fine food, wine, song, and leather.
Bellissimo.
Italian leather shoes are the world's finest, and Nazzarelli Shoes has the best. Shoes by Nazzarelli, Pepe Niori,
Fantastico.
Elise, Roberto Rinaldi. A touch of Italy at Nazzarelli Shoes, Westlake Village.
E ciao. E ciao.
University of Laverne in his 44th year. Roland Ortmeyer talks about the keys to this afternoon's ball game. Published today.
We'd like to play as mistake-free as possible. If we can do that, I believe we can make a reasonably good game out of this. I see Cal Lutheran, because of my years in the past playing with them, I look at them as being a stronger group of players than us. But if we can play free of mistakes, we can make a game. The wind will make a lot of difference to the game today, and if you can take advantage of it, it can help us. If we fail to, if it works against us, it'll hurt us badly. So actually, we're just out to play with as much spirit and as accurately as we can. By accurate, I mean doing what we're supposed to do. We'll make a fairly good show if we can do that.
Well, needless to say, a key to this afternoon's ball game regarding Cal Lutheran is stop the University of Laverne's running game. It is ranked 9th in the country in Division III football. Coach Joe Harper knows that he has a tough task ahead of him this afternoon. Lutheran victory this afternoon.
Well, I think the key is for us is to go out and play a game that we don't make a lot of mistakes and contain their quarterback and their running back. They've got an outstanding running back in Nance, about a 210-pounder. I think he's ranked number 9 or number 10 in the country in Division III as far as rushing is concerned. So he's an excellent player. Defensively, they've got some big, strong people up front that we're going to have to contend with. And we're without one of our starters in the offensive line, so that's caused us to do a little shuffling this week.
Well, Coach Machado, it's interesting that both Roland Ortmeyer and Joe Harper had the same concerns. They're both concerned about each other's running game, and they're both concerned about this wind.
When you get a wind like this, you know, you want to keep the ball on the ground. You want to maintain ball control, ball possession. So the team that maintains possession of the football doesn't turn it over and just keeps the ball on the ground and is able to consistently move the chains and get first downs, obviously going to have an advantage in this weather.
And judging from this afternoon's wind, I doubt we're going to see much of a passing game from either team.
Well, I don't think you're going to see the ball thrown a lot if the wind doesn't die down. These are two good coaches. You know, Coach Ort, you know, he's real loose, kind of a laid-back guy. You know, I always kind of say he's kind of looser than wet spaghetti. You know, he's laid back. He's going to have fun. It's going to be a party for them. We'll see if Cal Lutheran can play and stop their running game. That's the key today. They've got to stop that big running back Nance.
Well, it is going to be interesting. The kickoff, the University of Laverne taking on the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen. We'll have the opening play after this.
Room, figuring deals and whittling that old pencil down.
Pacific Coast Ford is the #1 volume dealership
By Amici Pizza and Pasta and by Athlete Sports Center.
Welcome to Cal Lutheran University. We are just about ready to get underway with this football game. It is homecoming for Cal Lutheran and a great crowd on hand, a very festive atmosphere. The University of Laverne will kick. Cal Lutheran to receive. Number 16, Craig Herrera, is the kicker. He gathers his troops. Back deep to receive for Cal Lutheran. Nico Rising is the deep man. To his right is number 13, Robert Caulfield, or rather to his left. To Nico Rising's right is number 2, John Wilson, and you can see him on the far side. The wind has picked up. It has actually gotten windier since the pregame show, if possible. The flag in the left corner of the end zone behind Laverne is really whipping right now. I would estimate about 40, 45 miles an hour maybe. I don't, you know, I'm not a weatherman. I'll leave it to Jim Dillman to figure this out. Let's just say it is windy, and it will definitely play a factor. And it will play a factor on Craig Herrera's kick. He is kicking directly into the teeth of this breeze that is blowing from the northwest, or rather from the northeast, to the southwest, across the field toward the near side. Both teams come into this ball game with records, or rather Laverne is 1-4, Cal Lutheran is 1-5. Both teams are coming off their first wins of the year. Last week, Laverne beat Whittier 28-14. And Cal Lutheran, of course, with their first win of the year over Claremont Mudd. 14-7 was the final. Just about ready to get underway, and here we go. Herrera puts the foot to the ball, and it is a low kick taken by Rising on the hop, and it skipped by him. If he touched that football, he's got to run it out. Downs it in the end zone. He did not touch it, and it'll be Lutheran football on the 20-yard line. Referee Hunter, or excuse me, the referee Bobby Hunter, marching that ball to the 20, which is where Cal Lutheran will take over 1st and 10. There is the quarterback, Cassidy O'Sullivan, getting the job almost by default in the 3rd game of the year. And if you see the replay, you can see it did skip by Rising and all the way into the end zone.
I'll do it.
O'Sullivan on 1st and 10. Rolls to the right to throw. And he has his man, Len Bradley, knocked out of bounds near a Cal Lutheran 1st down. With that, his 13th catch of the year, Len Bradley is now the team leader in that category for the Kingsmen.
Excellent throw by O'Sullivan that time, Clay. Just came out with what we call an out or a bench route, put it right on the money, and good 1st down play for the Kingsmen right off the bat.
Kingsmen coming out aggressive. It's pretty rare that we have seen them pass on 1st down. They are a yard short. It is 2nd and 1. Out of the I set to give us to Brian Kane. The freshman has the 1st down and more. Powers his way to the 34-yard line.
Clay, if there's any down, well, let's go ahead and look at the offensive front here for Cal Lutheran.
Well, you can see the name missing is John Milam. He is out with an injury, a late scratch. Milam is going to be replaced on the offensive line by, well, there were several candidates. Griff Boyster is one of them. In the offensive backfield, Jay Weber has emerged as the top back for Cal Lutheran. On the option play, O'Sullivan shakes off a tackler and is wrapped up behind the 35-yard line. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. That was about all. Rocky Wendrick made the stop. The defensive line, Doug Boots, the left defensive end, is a man to be watched. One of the top defensive players on this Leopard football team. Taking a look at the linebacking core, Austin is a good one, as is the middle linebacker, Wendrick. And the defensive backfield, the man to watch there is Kevin Sales. On 2nd and 10, it is Kane, the freshman from Oak Park High School, hopping over the 35 to the 37-yard line, and the middle linebacker Wendrick with the stop.
Clay, that time Cal Lutheran got in a little I formation. In fact, they're putting a little new wrinkle in their offense, it seems. They've got a little bit out of the wing T, and they're going with a little more I, trying to get some power up front with their fullback and running that little ISO series right now.
Cassidy O'Sullivan is the 3rd leading rusher on this, or rather the 2nd leading rusher on this football team, right behind Weber. Laverne showing blitz. O'Sullivan rolls to his right, throwing deep for Deisinger, and it is overthrown.
There's an example how that weather's going to play a factor here. Obviously, you don't like to see that wind blow when you let the ball go in your pass, but right now Coach Harper is probably hoping it goes pretty strong in this punt. Here you go, O'Sullivan on a rollout. He's got his tight end on what we call a little Z corner. Gets the ball up in the air and it floats on him and overthrows it.
Tony Tedesco was the man applying the pressure from the right side, number 57. A low snap to Bradley. He did well just to get rid of the kick. And it does take a Kingsman bounce. Picked up by Rod Zerbel. Zerbel running on the left side and is met at the 20-yard line, knocked out of bounds by a host of Kingsmen, and that is where the Leopards will take over 1st and 10. Number 10, Steve Tynan, made the hit. Zerbel, a pretty decent return. He doubles as the punt returner and the wide receiver. The offensive line is very experienced and a little bigger than one would expect, considering that Laverne does not recruit. They average 255 pounds tackle to tackle. The quarterback, Pascal, is playing only his 4th game. The man to watch is the tailback, Chris Nance. He is the 9th leading rusher in Division III football.
Number 10, Jeff Pascal.
A split backfield behind the quarterback, Pascal. And on 1st down, he throws, and he finds his man, Zerbel, again getting the call. And he gained about a yard, if that.
That's a good call from Coach Hort right there. Just what we call a split screen, or what we call a quick screen. Puts the ball up in the air, but good defense by the Kingsmen.
The nose guard, Nate Brazelton, is out with an injury. Tom Pellegrino will take his place. And, of course, the linebacking core is very, very talented. Kerry Caulfield anchors that. The free safety, Rising, is the leading tackler on the team, followed closely by the strong safety, Sylvester. An excellent defense for Cal Lutheran, as it has been all year. 2nd and 9. Pascal, quick pitch, and there's a fumble in the backfield. I believe Pascal got it back. It went right off of Chris Nance's shoulder pad and right into the hands of Pascal. A disastrous play that could have been made worse if they lost that football. They did not.
Here's a look. Pascal just unleashes this thing. I mean, it's got a little bit on it. You can't blame that on the wind. I think the young man's got some adrenaline pumped up, and it was just a little tough pitch for Nance to handle that time.
Loss on the play of 6, so it is 3rd and 15 from the Leopard 15-yard line. And to throw, no, on the draw play, it is the fullback Cootson.
On the carry,
some of the lost yardage back. That'll bring up 4th down, and it is kick time for the University of Laverne.
Does a real good job by number 31, Caulfield. Stayed home in his middle linebacker position. His job in that defense is to check for screen and draw. Here's a picture of it right here. Stay home, fights off a block. Nice tackle, and Cal Lutheran did a good job on defense. They want to force him kicking into the teeth of this wind right now, down deep.
Andrew 70 is the punter, and he will be fighting this wind, and well, that ball may just blow into the stands. It darn near did. I tell you what, you can't blame 70 at all. He's going to get a pat on the helmet from his teammate Craig Sipple. There is a flag on the play, and I'm seeing some words being exchanged between the two clubs. Right around the 35-yard line is where the commotion is.
There's a little extracurricular activity there, a little pushing and shoving. I think we're going to get a personal foul call on Laverne.
It's going to go against the University of Laverne. Bobby Hunter wearing the white cap as the referee, and see if we can see it on the replay. If not, we'll certainly see this punt.
Here's a look right here. It just looks like one of my golf shots off the tee. It just takes a real big shank to the outside and ends up out here in the stands.
Well, I tell you what, that cleared the sideline by a good 15 yards. Almost got into the stands. That gives you some idea how strong this breeze is. And after the penalty, well, Cal Lutheran gets a break. They have 1st and 10 on the Leopard 22-yard line.
Great field position for the Kingsmen right now.
O'Sullivan out of the eye set, and the give is to Kane, running off left tackle. Inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. Number 27, Jeff Devine, with the stop.
Clay, anytime you get in a ball game like this where the wind or anything is a factor, you know, the elements, you got to take advantage of. Here we come off right here out of the I formation, what we call a little ISO. Number 22 with a nice lead block. Kane puts his shoulder down and fights for some extra yardage. Nice run.
Gain of 6 on the play, so 2nd and 4. Kane again set up as the halfback, and on the option, O'Sullivan will keep it himself. Dances his way inside the 15, dragged down inside the 10-yard line. The free safety, Kevin Sales, had to make the stop. Otherwise, O'Sullivan was in for 6 points. It'll be 1st and goal for the Kingsmen.
We're going to take a look here. He's going to ride to the fullback inside. There's the end, goes upside on the pitch man, and O'Sullivan reads it properly, cuts up inside, makes a nice run, and finishes off the run real strong.
From the 8-yard line, this is Kane, and he pulls his way to the 7, perhaps the 6, dragged down by a host of Leopards. Sales was there, along with the middle linebacker, Wenrick. Kane, only a freshman from Oak Park High School, and the inexperience of the Kingsmen has been pretty well documented.
Yeah, we're going to take a look right here, Clay. It's just what we call that ISO series, fullback leading up onto the linebacker, and Kane putting the head down and getting some real tough yardage.
2nd and goal from the 6. We'll finish the point on the inexperience from the backfield as O'Sullivan on the option is inside the 5, and did he get into the end zone? Flag flies after the play. O'Sullivan was stopped at the 1-yard line. Doug Boots, the left defensive end, was able to drag him down, but let's see what the flag was all about. This time it's a personal foul against Cal Lutheran, and that will do nothing for the temper of Joe Harper on the sidelines.
Well, I tell you, I thought he was going to get in there, and pretty good tackle by one of the Laverne kids to keep him out of the end zone. Then it looked like one of the Laverne kids came up with a football, so there was quite a bit of activity there on that one particular play at the tail end.
Now, it'll be interesting to see where the personal foul came from. I mean, I saw somebody coming in with a shove. It is, needless to say, a bad break for the Kingsmen, now back on their 17-yard line, and it is 2nd and goal after the personal foul. So going from the 1 to the 7, or actually the 2 to the 17, well, big difference, obviously. Out of the Delaware wing tee, O'Sullivan to throw. Dumps it off to Kane inside the 15. Pulls his way inside the 10-yard line, down at the 9, making the stop was Melo Brown, a backup defensive back for the University of Laverne. And Kane, well, his number has been called quite a bit. That was actually a 3rd down play, so it'll bring up 4th down. Look at the pass again.
A little flood route. He slips Kane out here in the flat and dumps him the ball and gets some nice blocking by the Cal Lutheran receivers. And, you know, it's a real safe play, and he does a good job to get some of the yards back. They're going to go for a field goal here, Clay.
Alex Papike, with the wind blowing very hard from his right and at his back, is on to kick. He has made 2 of 4, both field goals, in the 2nd game of the year against Santa Barbara. The hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick was blown wide to the left. That was going right on the money. And at the very last second, that ball veered sharply to the left. You really can't put the blame on Papike for that, Coach.
Well, you know, you don't want to, but unless Cal Lutheran's going to go out and hire a meteorologist, you know, the kid's got to understand that the wind's blowing strong left. He's going to have to aim for that right up mark, upright. And here he tries to put that thing right down the heart of the goalpost, and it blows it out to the left. So you're going to have to play that wind. As strong as it's blowing, you almost have to aim at the new chapel over here to break that thing back in. But that time, Papike just tried to kick it down the middle, and the wind took advantage of it.
The attempt from 27 yards out, no good, and Laverne will take over on their 20-yard line. And the give is to the tailback, Chris Nance. Slow going against the Cal Lutheran defensive front. A very talented one at that, and they'll have to be against Mr. Nance. He has had quite a year.
He's a real good ball player, Clay. Rushed for over 500 yards. I think right now he ranks 9th in Division III. Just a real good football player.
104 yards a game and 4 touchdowns. In the 5 games, he's got 524 yards. 2nd and 9 facing the Leopards. Boy, they really do look a lot like the Hurricanes with their uniform. The pass by Pascal is very wide. It was intended for Rod Zerbel, who was nowhere close. In fact, if Sylvester had been watching the ball instead of his man, might have had an interception. Not a criticism. He did well to stay with his man, but boy, he was closer to that ball than the receiver.
Well, Sylvester's got to take a lot of credit for that, because what Laverne wanted to hit right there was what we call a quick slant route, and Sylvester just took the route away from the kid. Quarterback came up. It's a timing route, still delivered the ball, and obviously the receiver looked like he was nowhere in sight.
3rd and 9 out of the I set. Pascal, the quarterback, rolls to the left side. He's got good protection. Throws over the middle, complete to the tight end, Craig Sipple. Nico rising there on the coverage, but not before a 1st down for the University of Laverne.
A real good throw by the quarterback, Pascal. We're going to take a look at it. He's going to roll left. He's going to get those linebackers. You'll see the screen here running out of there. Here he's dragging his tight end, that big number 84. He's a load coming across the backside. Puts the ball right on the money. Nice catch by Mr. Sipple.
15-yard gain on the play, and it is 1st and 10 for the Leopards. Again, out of the I set at their own 36-yard line. Long count by Pascal. Now Zerbel goes in motion. And the give is to the first man through. That is Nance. And again, Nance can't get anything. We mentioned that the University of Laverne does have the size advantage on the offensive line, but that's nothing that Cal Lutheran hasn't faced before. They've always been going up against big defensive lines, and they always do quite well because of their quickness. There's a flag on the play, and the early indication is holding.
You can see here that Cal Lutheran just gets a lot of movement with their defensive line, and I think they're just beating size with quickness right now. Great pursuit by the Kingsmen, and we have a holding call on Laverne, which is going to push them back.
Here's the call from Bob Hunter.
We've got holding on the defense. Still 1st down.
10-yard penalty, and we'll bring up 1st down and 20.
Bob knows he's on TV. He's a proud man. He does a great job. That whole crew out there is a fine bunch of officials. And, you know, as a football coach, I tell you, we really appreciate those guys. They do a great job.
Oh, you saw those fans who were painted in purple? Yikes.
It's homecoming.
Yeah, homecoming is excusable. 1st and 20 and a quick draw up the middle. Terrence Lynch, the freshman fullback, gained some of the lost yardage back, got out to the 31-yard line. Kerry Caulfield was there to make the stop. And that'll bring up 3rd and call it about 16.
Hey, we just have a little fullback dive right here. You know, they've got a whole country mile, it seems, to go for a 1st down. So Coach Ort takes advantage of what he thinks Cal Lutheran's going to be in and just runs a little dive here. He's being patient. The key for them is they need to get another 1st down and try to get over that 50-yard line, especially with this wind blowing.
It'll have to be with the pass, I assume. 2nd and 16. And flag flies. eyes. Let's see, might have had some movement. The University of Laverne offensive line is clapping, and so is the Kingsman defense, and it looks like it's going to go against the Leopards. Ron Matthews, who is also taking the place at nose guard for Bowman, made a hop.
On the offense.
One thing it seems to me is Laverne has probably one of the longest cadences I've ever seen. I mean, boy, they're up there, that kid's barking and his head's bobbing up and down, and that time they draw one of the Kingsmen off sides. But it seems to me that they have an unusually long cadence.
2nd and 21 after the penalty. And Pascal to throw. To the left side, intended for Zerbel, but well overthrown, and Zerbel was very well covered. Rising and Sylvester were there, along with a host of other Kingsmen. And that'll bring up 3rd and long.
What Pascal's trying to do here is he's trying to take advantage of Cal Lutheran's defense and hit his men up in that seam past the linebacker. You'll see here he's running him up in that straight seam past the linebacker and just before the safety, but that time the ball was thrown a little over his head and we got an incompletion.
Pass rush defense for Cal Lutheran is in. They have 8 sacks as a team on the year. And on 3rd and 21. Again, a long count and a handoff. And the give is to Nance. And Nance got to about the 30-yard line. His longest gain of the afternoon so far, but not close to a first down. Number 39 for Cal Lutheran, Corey Undland, making the stop. And with just under 7 minutes, or about just under 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, no score.
Here we go. We got a little cross-buck action to the eye back. He comes off tackle, and Undland comes up, makes a great tackle on Nance. And, you know, give Undland credit. He, week in and week out, that kid really does a fine job defensively. Good tackler, very accurate.
And once again, Andrew 70, the adventure of kicking into the wind, and look out, sideline.
Boy, I tell you, we're going to see some ugly punts today. There's no doubt about it. There's 2 of the ugliest punts I've seen in a while. And, you know, you're just going to have to put up with the wind and just hope the heck your defense can hang in there and play tough defense and not let this wind really take you out of the ball game.
Well, about a 12, 15-yard punt, I'm going to estimate. There's the numbers on O'Sullivan so far, and once again, the Kingsmen have good field position.
The great thing about football, it's an equalizer, you know, because that kid's going to get a chance next quarter to punt with the wind.
Yep.
And his luck, watch, they won't even have to punt.
Before the game, Laverne won the toss, and they deferred the choice to get the win in the second half. And hey, here's Brian Kane for big yardage off the left tackle. Down close to the 30-yard line. Jeff Devine and Melo Brown made the stop, but not before Kane picked up 16 yards on the play.
Great, we're going to take another look at it. This is just a wing tee, cross buck. Great job of blocking on the outside on the perimeter by the pulling guard. And a good job of running. What I like about Kane is he finishes off the run all the time. Even when he's getting hit, he's going forward. So super job of running and a great job of blocking by Cal Lutheran, and it looks like it's going to be off or not as I see the man with stripes walking back.
I did not see a flag on the play, but illegal procedure is the call. And
We've got illegal procedure on the offense. 5 men in the backfield. First down.
5 men in the backfield, Coach.
Yeah, evidently one of the linemen was in the backfield. The way they're all talking to Deisinger, it looks like maybe the tight end got lined up. We can see a picture of it right here. Boy,
I don't see a problem with that.
That looks like an awful lot of straight rear ends to me. I don't see too many back there in the backfield, so they saw something we didn't.
Well, the big gain is for naught, and O'Sullivan is to throw on 1st and 15. He's got Deisinger wide open, making the catch inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. I've just been told that the quarterback made 5 men in the backfield. Well, that looked like the same play. This is the play
here's
afterwards.
The play we just saw. It's just a bootleg action. Comes out in the waggle. He's got his tight end wide open. Great delivery. Good play by the Kingsmen. 2nd
and 4, and there's a drop in the backfield. A fumble is going to be recovered by Laverne. Chris Kimberly, number 17. It was a muffed handoff. O'Sullivan looked like he was trying to get the ball to Kane, and it never got there. Kimberly was the man who came up with it.
I tell you, we talked about earlier, Clay, that the one thing Cal Lutheran couldn't do is turn the ball over. You especially don't want to turn the ball over when you've got the wind at your back. Here we go. It's just a boot action again, and O'Sullivan drops the ball, and his running back kicks it right into the arms of number 17.
Kimberly with the recovery. 1st and 10 for the Leopards after the turnover. And Pascal Gives to Nance. Nance wrapped up in the backfield. He has nowhere to go. Kevin Evans made the initial hit, and he got plenty of help from Kerry Caulfield.
Real good team defense by Cal Lutheran that time. They're just pursuing real well. They got a lot of guys on the tackle. You know, they got a little pepper in them, and they've got a real good job. Here we go. It's just an off-tackle power. Nance going to bounce it outside. And you can see all the purple jerseys right there. They're just great pursuit. Good job of tackling. Mr. Nance really doesn't have anywhere to go.
Loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11. And again, it is Nance. And again, in real trouble. Chris Sestito, number 43, that time finished him off. Sylvester was in the backfield as well, along with number 62, Pellegrino. Boy, take your pick.
Well, I tell you, that time Laverne pitched it to the right and didn't get much and said, well, let's go here to the left. They're pretty strong over there. And basically the same thing. Nance dips outside. Cal Lutheran just doing a fine job of pursuing. There's a great tackle by 43. That's football. And look at the purple jerseys come in there. Boy, that's a great job on defense.
Terrific play by Sestito. Loss of 3 on the play, and 3rd and 14. Pascal to throw. Over the middle. Incomplete. Rising almost picked that ball off. It was intended for the tight end, Sipple.
I'll tell you, Clay, he had him open again on that same basic pattern. We call that a little bootleg action. He's going to fake inside, and he's got his tight end on a drag route. He had the kid open. That time didn't deliver the ball.
O'Sullivan will get another chance, and probably from pretty decent field position, as once again 70 has to kick into the wind. The wind has died down just a little bit.
I think we got a new punter this time.
Nope, that's 70. And Rising's going to take this on the fly at the 30. And he'll fall forward to the 35, perhaps to the 36-yard line. And that's where the Kingsmen will take over 1st and 10. Well, 70 got it straight, and he got it in the air, which is a lot better than his last 2 efforts.
Oh, I got you. His name's 70.
His name is 70.
Number 70. I was getting ready to yell at you and say, my God, where I went to school, Santa Clara, that's 25. Okay, I got you.
Andrews 70, whose number is 25, and what a shame that is. No score, 3:32 to play in the opening period, and the Kingsmen 1st and 10. O'Sullivan on the option to Kane, trying to turn the corner, does so, and gets across the 45 and close to midfield, knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
It's a great job of running by Kane. Got the corner. As soon as he got the corner, headed up north and south. Here's the play. They're out of the I-backs again. Little dive fake. In takes the quarterback. He pitches it. Kane gets outside. So Cal Lutheran, a little new wrinkle this week. You know, they're in that I formation. They're going a little bit away from the wing tee and running a little option. Looks exciting.
Here's the wing tee on 1st and 10, and again, it is Kane. He's got a big hole to run through, and he's across midfield, across the 45, at the 41-yard line in Leopard territory. Once again, the middle linebacker, Rocky Wenrick, making the stop, but not before Kane is close to another 1st down.
All right, here we go. It's the wing tee. They're pulling both guards. 64 does a real nice kick-out block on 17. Kane heads it upfield, and let's give credit where credit's due. The offensive line of Cal Lutheran right now is doing a super job of getting those guards out there and making those running lanes for his running back.
Mike Gildy is the offensive left tackle, and on the last 2 plays, he's made some great blocks. Jay Weber with the carry across the 40 to the 37-yard line. Last week against Claremont Mudd, Weber set a Kingsman record for most carries in a ball game, 32, and one of the co-holders of the previous record, 30, was Gene Eberhardt, coach at Royal High School, who's enjoying himself a fine year.
Yeah, Gene's doing a real good job over there at Royal, and they're having a real fine season. I'm happy for them.
2nd and call at 7. From the 37-yard line, O'Sullivan dances his way out of trouble and throws an interception. Picked off. Making the interception was Melo Brown. The pass was intended for Lynn Bradley, and that is a ball that perhaps should not have been thrown, Coach.
Yeah, Cassidy O'Sullivan would be the first one to tell you that this ball shouldn't have been thrown. He was being pressured real hard. He had a guy, we're going to take a look at it right here. It's just off the wing tee buck action. He's got a guy hanging on his feet, just kind of throws it up and hoping they can come up with it, and throws it in the crowd, and Laverne comes up with a big turnover. 2nd
turnover of the period for the Kingsmen.
Well, I tell you, he'd like to have that one back. There's no doubt about it.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line, their own for the Leopards. And they give us to the first man through, the fullback Coots and Kevin Evans there on the stop, along with a host of other Kingsmen.
I'll tell you, Clay, as strong as this wind's blowing, if Laverne can get out of here, let this clock go, and get the wind and have a 0-0 score, they're going to feel real good about this. Here we go, straight dive. Linebacker comes up and feels real well.
You know, Caulfield, number 31, probably the top linebacker on the Kingsmen. A lot bigger than people would expect. He's 6 foot, 236 pounds with very good speed, so he's a deadly hitter. On the pass play, over the middle, intended for the tight end, Sipple. Caulfield was there on the coverage, incomplete, and it's 2nd and 8.
That's a really excellent job by Caulfield on defense. It's funny that you were talking about it, because right there he comes up and reads on the tight end, which is his job. He's going to hook on that tight end, sees him running that crossing route, and he came up and played excellent pass defense. I'm very impressed with Mr. Caulfield. He's a good defensive linebacker, anchors that middle for Cal Lutheran very, very well.
There's Roland Ortmeyer on the sidelines in his 44th year as head coach here at the University of Laverne, and this is his final season. Pascal on 3rd and 8, throws over the middle, and it is caught. It wasn't a pretty pass, but it's caught by Lamont Landers. Oh, a terrific catch. He had John Wilson all over him.
Clay, I'm telling you, I'm not even sure it was intended for Landers. It looked like he was trying to go to the tight end, and Landers come up. Here's a straight drop back, 7-step drop. He unloads it. Looks like he's going for the tight end behind here, and Landers just stepped up inside and took that thing.
Might make that Mark Staley, who was there on the coverage, and it was decent coverage. Landers just made a terrific play. So 1st and 10 for the University of Laverne on their own 37-yard line. Boy, those uniforms look a lot like the University of Miami.
They sure do. Pretty things.
The give is to Nance on the right side. And Nance again, tough going. Caulfield had him by the leg, Evans by the body. And Nico Rising was also there to help finish him off.
I'll tell you, Clay, if this early going is any indication of the way the game's going to go, you know, Laverne is going to have to throw the ball to move it against this defense. Cal Lutheran is just playing very good rush defense. Here we go. It's just that tackle power where they're trying to kick out with the fullback, and a lot of it, the fullback really isn't. The defensive end, number 83 for Cal Lutheran, is just stuffing that fullback right back into the running lane.
Under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Gain of a yard on that last play, so call it 2nd and 9, and the give is to the fullback. First man through is Terrence Lynch. Chris Sestito met him as Lynch went through the hole. He crossed the 40-yard line to perhaps the 41, and that is perhaps the last play of the opening period.
Let me go back to what I was talking about. Yorkinson's done a fine job at defensive end for Cal Lutheran. When they're running that power and they're trying to kick your defensive end out with that fullback, coaches tell that defensive end, hey, you got to stuff that fullback back into the running back, and that's what Yorkinson's doing right now, and has been very effective for the Kingsmen.
We are going to go to a commercial. We will return with more college football on KDTV after this.
It's the summer plant
The University, or the first play of the second period, an incomplete pass. Pascal trying to rifle it over the middle to Steve Vander Linden in the tight end's first action this afternoon. So it'll bring up 4th and 7, and that means kick time. And this time 70 has got the wind at his back, and he fumbles the snap, but the kick is away, and it is a beaut. All the way inside the 20-yard line down to the 17. Well, they'll mark it at the 19, and that is where the Kingsmen will take over 1st and 10. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, I just want to say, Mr. 70, you know, he's had 2 or 3 punts he had to go against the wind. I think he was just so doggone excited that time that the wind was at his back. He dropped the ball, but still got an excellent punt off. And now Cal Lutheran's got to move the sticks because they've got the back, or excuse me, this time they've got the wind in their face, and it'll be interesting to see how they try to move the football here.
Boy, what does it do to a team's psyche knowing you have the wind at your back throughout the entire first period? Good field position, and you don't get any points on the board as Brian Kane hops over the 25, and he is close to a Kingsman first down. I'll tell you, Brian Kane is having a fine first half of football.
One of the good things from Cal Lutheran is that they've moved the ball on the ground, and even with the wind, it's not going to affect your running game. And here's a look right here. We're going to go with the eye. Again, the ISO, he bounces it outside, now heads up north and south. Makes a few guys missing. Excellent run by Mr. King.
It is indeed good enough for a first down. O'Sullivan takes the snap, and this time it is Weber who gets the call. And Weber is across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Well, nothing wrong with the Kingsman ground game. The only real negative for the Kingsmen so far, no points on the board because of the 2 turnovers.
Right here you're going to see they're going to just run that power off tackle. You're going to see some missed tackles right here. There's one. And here comes number 49. I tell you, he is a load. That's a big kid for a linebacker.
That is Ray Austin, who might be the top defensive player on this Leopard football team. He is 253 pounds on a 6'2" frame. Weber the call again, and he is close to the 40-yard line and close to another Kingsman first down.
Number 49, Ray Austin, again on the tackle on that one. I'll tell you, Clay, he is a load. I said that before, but I'll tell you, I've never seen a bigger 49. He comes right up here, stuffs the run real good.
6'2", 253 pounds as a linebacker. 3rd and inches for the Kingsmen. It is Kane. Running around in, he's got the first down, hopping over the 40-yard line, getting to the 43. Brian Kane. Dwayne Morgan was there on the stop, and a pretty good block by number 64, Mike Pezzanella, on the sweep.
I tell you, all those offensive linemen up there, they're the unsung heroes, you know, and they're all doing a great job. Here's a good get off, pulling your guards around.
It's a good block by Pezzanella, number 64.
Excellent job. They got Laverne guys laying on the ground, and good run, good first down for the Kingsmen.
At their own 43-yard line. On the option, and O'Sullivan pitches. Somehow Kane gets it on the hop, and he's going to turn it into good yardage. Oh, how fortunate can you be?
You like to see those breaks go your way. You know, a couple of weeks ago, they weren't going Cal Lutheran's way. That time, we ran what we call a little bounce option. He bounces the ball out in the grass. Here we go. We got option. The end comes down real hard. He crashes. O'Sullivan gets his body into him. Really has no impetus on the ball, but boy, bounces right back in Kane's arm, and he makes a great run out of it. Super play.
If that ball was pitched in the air, it couldn't have been pitched more perfectly. Gain of 8 on the play, and on 2nd and 2, O'Sullivan to throw, and he has a man on the sidelines. Is it complete? Yes, it is. Josh Nielsen making the catch.
Boy, I really like Coach Harper and Coach Veras' approach this week. They're throwing the ball on first down. It seems in the past they've tried to pound that ball up the middle. They've always seemed to end up with a 2nd and long. Right now, they're getting those situations where they're facing 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, and that's a coach's dream. So that first down play, throwing the ball right now, is really operated in Cal Lutheran's advantage.
In Laverne territory at the 41, Kane around the right end. He's got a blocker ahead of him. Inside the 35, dragged down inside the 30-yard line, and again, 64, Pezzanella led the way.
I'll tell you, Kane's going to have himself a ball game today. This offense is just geared toward him right now. We're going to take a look at it. It's the buck sweep. Got your big guards out there pulling. You know, they got the bodyguards going out there clearing away in the secondary. Kane does an excellent job setting up his blockers and making big yardage.
Gain of 11 on the play. So 1st and 10 for the Kingsmen at the 30-yard line of the Leopards. To get us to the first man through Weber. And Weber hops his way across the line of scrimmage inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Looked like he was stopped by a couple of Leopards at the line of scrimmage, and somehow he got through.
Well, the kid never let his feet die. He had excellent balance, really finished. We're going to see it right here. Now it's just a straight dive off the wing tee, a little trap by 64. Kid never lets his feet die.
A gain of 7 on the play, so 2nd and 3 from the 23-yard line. And again, the Kingsmen driving for 6 points. No score in the ball game. But the Kingsmen have dominated from the line of scrimmage. And here's a big reason why. Kane, 10-5, is he in? No, inside the 5 down to the 3-yard line. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
I'm going to tell you, Clay, we're probably going to take another look at this. It's not so much that he steps out of bounds. I think he sees, here it is, right here. It's that same buck sweep, fake to the fullback, pull the guards. He bounces this thing outside right now, and he gets so excited about getting in that end zone, his feet just kind of come out from under him right here. Watch what happens.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
When he saw that goal line, he goes, oh, my God, here I go.
Well, that's what I saw was the back of someone's head looking at that play. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. The give is to Kane on the right side, and he is met hard at the line of scrimmage. Gained maybe a yard out of it. James Oronos, the freshman defensive lineman, making the stop and making it big.
Well, I tell you, that's just one of those cases, that last play, where, you know, his mind was already crossing the goal line. His feet were back there on the 8-yard line, and then the two didn't meet. And boy, what happens is you end up pancaking it out. But, you know, right now they're just going to try to punt this thing in there. And that last play, excellent defense by Laverne.
Second and goal from the 5. We'll see if they call Kane's number one more time. This time out of the I set. And it is indeed Kane. Hops over the 5 down to the 3-yard line. And it will be 3rd and goal. And it'll be a very interesting call for Coach Joe Harper.
But Kane's run the ball a lot already in the first half. And here's a look right here. It's just the ISO. An excellent job by Laverne on defense. But Mr. Kane's run the ball an awful lot. And reminds me of the story where they used to talk to Coach McKay about O.J. Simpson running the ball. They say, why do you give him the ball so much? He says, it isn't heavy.
3rd and goal from outside the 3 and out of the Delaware wing tee. O'Sullivan rolling to the left side, shakes off a tackler, and he is going into the end zone and high steps his way through, and why not? Doug Boots, who is slated as the top defensive player on this team, had the best shot at him and couldn't get him.
Well, what we call that in football is just shake and bake. You know, Cassidy O'Sullivan got out there, put a little move on Boots. And a shame for that kid because it was right there in the open. He was isolated out there, and it was just O'Sullivan's athletic ability against, Boots, and he wins it. We're going to see it right here. Again, off the buck sweep, but he boots it out right there. Just puts a little shake and bake on him, and he gets in the end zone, and he's going to celebrate here. A little high step time for Mr. O'Sullivan.
Papike is on for the extra point. Leogrand to hold.
What's that?
The hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 9:22 to play in the second quarter, the Kingsmen are on the board. They lead it 7-0. Tell you, the rushing yardage for Cal Lutheran in this first half has got to be astronomical.
Here it is again. It's just a bootleg on the weak side, and he puts a move on him. Boy, I tell you, nobody feels worse than number 51. I mean, he started heading toward the bench right away and then remembered, hey, I got to play defense on the PAT.
Boots is a defensive lineman, 6 foot, 190 pounds, and I tell you what, he's not going to look forward to seeing that on the films next week. Of course, Coach Oatmeyer doesn't look at film, so that makes it easier.
Well, they look at films, but they look at films for entertainment, as Coach Oatmeyer says. They're not trying to learn anything. They're just trying to sit around, eat some popcorn, and have a good time and enjoy it.
Sure got the crowd alive and a good crowd on hand. Papike to kick it away into the wind, which has died down considerably from the beginning of this ball game. Deep to receive is Zerbel, number 15. He is dangerous. Actually, the man kicking is Sam Cooper, number 6, a backup kicker. They said they would bring him in on some kickoffs, but not to kick field goals in place of Papike. Anyway, Zerbel on the return is across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Well, Papike got that thing up in the air, and it just seemed like it hung up there forever. You can read the label from here. I mean, it was amazing. Here it is. You can see the guy up there. Looks like a center fielder waiting for a high pop-up to come down. Runs that thing right up the middle and trips on his own man.
Kevin Evans was down momentarily, but he is walking off the field under his own power, and it's good to see that he's okay. He is the starting linebacker. It was on the actual tackle. Looked like he injured his leg or his arm or something. Pascal to throw on 1st and 10. Rifles the ball, and it is almost intercepted. John Wilson had the best chance at it and just missed the interception. Zerbel was the intended receiver. And let's watch it again.
All right, it's a straight drop back. Zerbel's going to run what we call a square in. And the ball just isn't delivered. He's kind of coming down sidearm and getting the nose of the ball up, and in this wind, it's kind of taken off on him. But he had Zerbel on a square and open. He just didn't come across and deliver the ball.
These Leopard receivers have been open throughout this first half.
They have. It's just good. Pascal's got to get him the football. That's his job.
2nd and 10. And the give is to the first man through. That is Nance. Nance has had a tough time of it in this first half. He averages 104 yards a game, and he came in here very highly touted, but Kerry Caulfield and company are making sure that Nance doesn't get too much room to run.
Well, I tell you, you can be the best back in the world, and if your offensive line isn't getting movement up front, you're going to have a long day. And right now, really, Laverne, as big as they are, is not moving the Cal Lutheran defensive line. I think a lot of it is because of the mobility of the Kingsmen. They're able to get around their blocks and go and pursue and tackle Nance.
Kingsmen have a 3-4 defense, and all the linebackers are very, very quick. 3rd and 7. Pascal to throw. To the right sideline, the intended receiver was Landers, but it is overthrown once again, and that'll bring up 4th down in kick time for the University of Laverne.
you know, quarterbacking it's just like playing poker sometimes. You got to have a hot hand. And right now, Pascal just doesn't have a hot hand. He's shooting, you know, the blanks right now. He's getting the ball up in the air, and he's just missing receivers who, have you mentioned, Clay, have been open. You know, the Laverne receivers are open in the secondary. He just hasn't been able to give them the football.
In Pascal's defense, he has been fighting injuries all year long. We'll talk about it during the next Laverne series. He has had his problems. 4th and 8. And the snap to 70, and 70 gets off a beautiful kick. Over rising said, takes a hop inside the 10. And it will die there at the 9-yard line. Really nothing Nico could do. He didn't want to take a chance on dropping that football.
The thing is, Clay, this is something that gives coaches gray hair. You know, the wind's blowing almost 30 miles an hour left to right. And Nico's standing in the middle of the field. You know, and the guys kick the ball over here every time. You can see what I'm talking about. That wind takes this ball every time over here to the right hash mark. That's true. You know, I would think I'd just go there and stand on that hash mark and let the ball come to me. It's a simple game sometimes.
So at the 9-yard line, the Kingsmen will take over 1st and 10, and there is a timeout on the field.
Officials timeout on the
timeout. And it gives us well, we'll tell you about some upcoming games for Cal Lutheran. Right now we're going to take a break. The score is 7-0 Cal Lutheran in the 2nd quarter. Is that a final? Okay. No, we are going to stay here. Okay, Brian Kane with the carry, and he is across the 10-yard line. I was distracted momentarily. I heard a score. Miami is leading Notre Dame at halftime 17-16, and we're going to pass on some college football scores as they come in. Right now we've got 8 minutes to play in the half, and it is 7-0 in favor of Cal Lutheran. The touchdown coming with 9:22 to play in the 2nd. Cassidy O'Sullivan from 3 yards out. This game has been dominated by the Kingsmen. 2nd and 8, and the give doesn't go far.
Clay, every game you're going to find a play that's critical at some point in the game, and I think this is the one here. 3rd and 8. You've got Laverne's got Cal Lutheran backed up, got the wind in their face.
Kane was on the carry here. Go ahead, Coach.
Here we go. I formation, ISO. Tries to bounce it outside. That time, excellent defense by Laverne. This is a key play right here, because if Laverne can force Cal Lutheran to punt into this teeth of the wind, they're going to get some good field position.
So on 3rd and 10, and O'Sullivan to throw. Rolling to the right side, and the pass goes way out of bounds, intended for Leogrand. And it's funny, because just as O'Sullivan released that ball, the wind just sort of gusted. And that's the only way I can explain that ball tailing out of his hand. Let's watch it again, Coach.
All right, we got a roll out right here. He's going to run out here, set up his pocket. He didn't set up real good. You can see what happened that time is, you know, in throwing, everybody looks at the arm, but coaches look at the feet with their quarterbacks. He didn't get set up real good. That ball floated on him and got outside too far.
Bradley from his own end zone kicking into the wind. And it's going to tail to the Lutheran sideline. And I'll tell you what, this wind is something. Well, you know, you were saying that when Nico Rising was back to receive the punt that he should set up on the near hash mark. What about the punter? Maybe to kick left to right, or what can you do?
If I was a punter, I'd aim for the chapel. I mean, this is ridiculous. That wind's blowing so doggone hard. You know, you're not going to get that thing down the middle of the field and expect it to stay there. You know, I mean, it looks like I've seen more balls come into the Cal Lutheran bench. I mean, it's like incoming shells, you know. I mean, I'm sure those coaches are down there screaming incoming when those things are punted.
At the 28-yard line, 1st and 10, best field position of the day by far for the University of Laverne. They trail 7-0, and this is Nance running on the right side. He's got some room. Crossed the 25-yard line, maybe got to the 24. Chris Sestito, number 43, was there on the stop, along with a host of other Kingsmen.
It's amazing what field position will do for your offense. You know, every time Laverne started down here deep, it doesn't seem like they've come off real crisp. That time, here it is. Power out tackle number 75 leads and gets an excellent block. In Nance, 2 or 3 Kingsmen have to bring him down. So right now, Laverne's got a little bit of offense going.
6:35 to play in the half. There's the pitch to Nance, running on the left side. Knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and there is a penalty marker on the field. Caulfield was there. Corey Undlin made the initial hit, but let's see about the flag.
Well, it looks like Laverne's clapping their hands, but they got a holding call, so maybe the kid that was clapping his hand was just glad it wasn't him. Here you go. Nance gets outside and shows why he's a good ball carrier. He's got real good speed. But again, that Unlin kid, I'll tell you, he impresses me. For his size, he gets more done with what he's got.
Unlin, for the record, is 6'2", 195 pounds, relatively small for a linebacker.
Got a 10-yard holding penalty on the offense.
So the Leopards are moved back 10 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 17 from the Kingsman 36-yard line. 6:31 to play in the half. Kingsman leading 7-0. Out of the I set. Pascal, the quarterback. Long count, as he has been doing all afternoon long. And this is Nance once again. And Nance has some running room again across the 30-yard line to the 28-yard line. You know, I'm noticing something here, Coach. They're always putting 2 or 3 blockers, well, 2 blockers at least, on number 31, Kerry Caulfield. And we might, if we get a replay on this, we might see that number 31 is getting plenty of company.
Yeah, again, it's a simple game. You know, Caulfield's the best defensive player they got there on the field now. He's made the majority of the tackles in the first quarter. So Ort just says, hey, let's put a couple of guys over there and get this guy out of the ball game. He's the one that's stopping us. We got to go get him.
On 3rd and 9, Pascal to throw. Has a man complete, but does he have the first down?
It's going close.
Look like number 49, Ray Austin, making the catch. That can't be 49. That's that linebacker we were talking about. 48, the tight end. That's what I thought. Steve Vanderlinden. Nico Rising made the stop, but it is short of a first down. The down marker shows 4th down. There's the other down marker being propped up. Vanderlinden is about 2 yards shy. So it'll be 4th and 2. Call it 4th and a long 1, and no question about it, Ortmeyer is going to go for it.
If I was a bet man, I'd say Nance would get that power off tackle again.
Pascal sneaks it. And Pascal is very close to the first down if he doesn't have it.
God, I'm glad I'm not a betting man.
No indication yet from the officials. We may see a measurement.
Good line, Serge. Quarterback, from all indications here, it looks like, depends on the spot, but it looks like he got it.
It does look like he got across the 18-yard line.
It helps to have those quarterbacks that are 6'2", 6'3". You can tell them fall down.
He didn't get it.
It's short. The Kingsman
on the replay, it looked like he got across the 18, and that is where the marker was. But it is inches short, so the Kingsman defense holds with 5:09 to play in the second quarter. They lead 7-0, and they'll be looking for more. You can't really knock the Leopards that time. They did everything right. Let's see how far he gets.
Well, you know, a lot depends on where his knees hit, you know, where they're going to spot that ball. You know, they got a better view of that thing down there. Big pressure now in Laverne defense. They got to stop Cal Lutheran here.
Kane, again, trying to turn the corner. Doesn't do it this time. Making the stop was Dwayne Morgan, number 22, a backup linebacker. And for one of the few times this afternoon, Kane is held in check. He has had a big first half. Nice stop, Mr. Morgan.
Well, one of the things Laverne's doing a much better job is they're bringing their corners up a lot tougher in stopping that buck sweep. You know, that's the play that's hurt them the most, especially when Kane's been able to get outside. So their corners are coming up and playing this a lot more aggressively. Let's see if Cal Lutheran takes advantage of that and starts doing some play action passes to their wideouts.
2nd and 10. And the give is to Kane again. And again, Kane, nothing doing. Brian Lloyd was there on the stop. They rotate those linebackers so much, does the University of Laverne, and Lloyd is one of them, 2nd string linebacker, and there's a penalty marker on the field.
Usually when you see that flag thrown in that area, Clay, it indicates a holding penalty. Right here you can see they're getting some stunning going on now with the linebackers playing some games with Cal Lutheran's defense, and that time we're able to stuff it pretty good.
Well, look, guys. That holding on the offense declined. 3rd down.
God, I love to be right sometimes. It's been one of those years when I do get right. I'm going to tell everybody.
We've been beaten to death on penalties, haven't we, Coach?
We
Golly.
have.
What was it, the 2nd week of the year against Sonoma State?
Yeah, it wasn't real good.
I don't know that we couldn't get one right. We got that one right. So 3rd and 10, the penalty declined. Facing the Kingsmen.
Big play for
this is a big one. Let's see if they throw against this wind. He is going to throw, rolls to the right, looking for Leogrand, and Leogrand is covered well by Morgan, so O'Sullivan will try to do it himself, and he can't because he is surrounded by leopards. Among them, Kevin Sales, who makes the stop, and O'Sullivan is hobbling out. O'Sullivan looks to be hurt, and he is down on the sidelines.
It looks like he turned his ankle, got his ankle caught underneath, and everybody from the Cal Lutheran stands are standing up to take a look at this. That'll give you some indication of the thinness of the quarterback core.
They're looking at his knee, you can see. Meanwhile, the punt, there's going to be a fair catch called for and made by 70 across the 50. Let's stick with O'Sullivan, though. They were working on his knee, and there you see they are looking at that left knee. So Sullivan is down. Meanwhile, here's that punt. It was just a fair catch made by 70. And the Leopards will take over 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Go ahead, Skip.
I was just going to say, kicking game-wise, that's a highlight. Simple fact that it stayed in the field. That's the first one I've seen that hasn't blown out of bounds. So Lavern's going to take the ball right here at the 45 or 44-yard line.
We will try to find out what we can on Cassidy O'Sullivan. Meantime, this is Nance running on the right side, and he was hit hard by Caulfield. A gain of 3 by Nance. And let's take a look at what may have happened to O'Sullivan on this play.
Okay, it's the waggle out here to the... we'll take a look right here.
Still going strong there.
There it is. He got his right knee caught up underneath. You can see where he got his right knee twisted up underneath.
Well, the applause you hear, O'Sullivan is being helped to the sideline. There's a long pass complete. That is Lamont Landers, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. It happened that fast.
I tell you, 21's looking at number 7.
Mark Staley is number
Rising.
21, and Rising is number 7, and they're both looking at each other. In the meantime, Landers is looking awful good with 6 points to his credit. Let's watch it again, Coach.
The corner must have thought he was going to get free safety help here. You can see Rising just doesn't get over. 21's beat real bad for a touchdown, and the way he looks over here, he must have thought we had a blown coverage here, that he was going to get some safety rotation help, and he just didn't that time.
Tail end of that replay, you could see that Rising was following the tight end, and he was way upfield, and Staley just looked behind him and said, "Oh no, I'm in trouble." The conversion kick by Herrera is low, but it did go through, and it went over the fence and probably through the windshield of the parked car.
What wasn't pretty, ugly kick, but it's effective.
It was a bad snap as well, so Herrera did well to get that through the upright.
He sure did.
That ties the game at 7. On that touchdown, unofficially, we got 51 yards on that pass. 51 yards, Pascal to Lamont Landers. Here's the kick again.
That's a bad snap. Gets the hold down and gets it over, not by much.
Well, that goalpost is 10 feet in the air, and that was about an 11-foot kick.
Well, I tell you, Clay, getting back to that touchdown, though, obviously there had to be a breakdown in communication in the secondary, because the corner just looked over at his safety and, by all indications, thought he was going to get some strong safety help, and he just didn't get any.
It is 7-7. Scoreboard here says 13-7. It is 7-7 in... here's a look at the touchdown again, Skip.
All right, it's just a play-action fake. You can see he's cooked right there.
Yeah, and you saw that Rising was covering the tight end over the middle, and Sylvester, the other safety, was on the near side of the field. Here's the kick, and with the wind at his back, a pretty darn good one by Herrera. Bradley will just watch that sail over his head and out of the end zone. Well, let's see who we've got coming in to play quarterback for Cal Lutheran. Perhaps Tom Leogrand or Craig Fortin, and it is going to be Fortin. The senior who, well, last we checked was at Moore Park Junior College. He's about 23 years old, hasn't played football for a couple of years, and literally some of the Cal Lutheran players were saying, we found him throwing a football in his backyard through a tire, and it looked pretty good, so we put him in a uniform. Cal Lutheran is not deep at the quarterback position. Fortin is going to give to Weber and give Weber a little shove through the hole, and Weber's going to gain a couple of yards. Well, that's a good way to start, helping out your running back.
Well, Fortin's going to be a little nervous, and he stepped into the hole that time, and but it's probably good to get your helmet banged a little bit, wake you up, get the cobwebs out, and you know, it'll be interesting to see. Here we got a dive play. You can see Fortin's a little too far into the hole, and you're going to have a few of these little problems early, but the more he's in there, the more they'll get these ironed out.
If anything should happen to Fortin, Tom Leogrand would be the quarterback. This is Brian Kane running off tackle on the right side. And I'll tell you what, the tried and true play of this first half. He is across the 25 to the 28-yard line.
What, nothing makes you happier as a reserve quarterback than the senior running backs, you know, get up there and get some big yards. You can see he's had 16 rushes for 102 yards, so he's had a ball game already. We got a timeout from Laverne.
Probably trying to figure out what to do about Mr. Kane. 102 yards in the first half.
Here's a replay. He's getting up inside there. You know, it's nothing fancy, Clay. They're running that same play, that buck sweep, and they've been getting big yardage on it all day.
Still no word on the injury to Cassidy O'Sullivan. We can only hope it is not serious. He is not in the ball game. Craig Fortin is in. It is a 7-7 score here in the first half with 2:15 to play. And a reminder, our guest will be Cal Lutheran baseball coach Rich Hill at the half, and also a pretty interesting conversation with Roland Ortmeyer, affectionately called Ort, the head coach for 44 years at the University of Laverne. And tell you something, to say he's unconventional would be an understatement. He is really something. There is the homecoming king and queen for Cal Lutheran. We mentioned it's a very special day here at Mount Clef Stadium. Crowd of, I'd say about 2,000, maybe 2,500, maybe more. Best crowd of the year by far.
I'll tell you, Coach Ort is probably one of the most unique and revered coaches in football. I'll tell you, a testament is all of his assistants have at one time played for him.
Brian Kane running on the right side, and this time nothing doing. He stopped by your favorite player, Coach, Ray Austin, 6'2", 253-pound linebacker.
I'll tell you, when you can wear number 49 and weigh 253 pounds, that says something. You know, all right, here we go. We're going to take a look at it again. It's that same basic buck sweep out of the wing tee, and this time he comes up and stuffs it pretty good.
Just got a word on Cassidy O'Sullivan, Coach. All we know is that he did twist his left knee, that there is a problem with his left knee, and that more than likely he will not return.
You know, I saw his right knee get buckled up underneath, but I think his left leg is what braced, and that just took a, you know, anytime your leg locks in the turf like that and you get that kind of pressure, especially with these big guys, you know, hitting you, you know, you get some ligament and you get some tendon damage. I'm definitely not saying that because we don't know what his status is, but that's normally what happens in those situations, and I did see his left shoe lock into the turf. 4th and 2 for the Kingsmen, and Bradley is on to kick it away. 2:10 to play in the half. And we'll see what the wind does with this kick. Last time Bradley handled it very well. Good snap. And the kick is away, angling toward the Lutheran sidelines, and it will go out at the 45-yard line. And depending on where the official will mark it, God, he's back over there at the 40. It went out of bounds way up there. I tell you, a win like this, though, is great on the Cal Lutheran ball boy. That guy hasn't had to come 2 feet off the sideline all night. All right, we're going to take another look at it. You're going to see
it's his left knee that we're going to watch.
His right leg gets bent up. See where his left leg is going to lock right there into the turf and then slide. And then the guy landed on top of it. Now, stretcher is being brought out. Boy, you hate to see this. There is O'Sullivan on the crutches. Meantime, the action, Nance, is cut down in the backfield. No, he got away from trouble and did well to turn a 5-yard loss into only a 3-yard loss. Now, he is putting some pressure. It's a good sign right there. And as O'Sullivan marches off the field, he is very obviously done for the afternoon. That's a real good sign, though, to see him walk in a normal fashion, putting pressure on that leg. So, you know, hopefully it's not as bad as they got the ice and the compression on it. I'm sure they're going to take him in and take a look at it, get that thing elevated, and make an assessment in the locker room. 2nd and 12 from their own 37-yard line. Pascal to throw. He's got time, and the pass is knocked down in the backfield. Sal Jimenez, number 87, was there. Eric Bowman was also there as well. It looked like Bowman, 77, got a hand on it. I'll tell you, Clay, they say your best pass defense is a pass rush. And you can see here that you get a lot of purple jerseys in number 10's face right here. 77 is going to get his hands up and bang it right back in his face. Excellent pass defense by number 77. And maybe a late hit by Sal Jimenez after that ball was knocked down. He just creamed Pascal. Boy, Jimenez really blindsided Pascal. I guess when that ball is batted in the air, everything's live. 3rd and 12. And a quick pass to the left side, and that was intended for Zerbel. It is not a live ball, an incomplete pass, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, those 3 plays only killed about a minute. We got a minute 15 left to play in the half.
Okay, we're going to just run here. You'll see what we call a little slip screen or split screen. He wants to come out here. He's pulling the Nance out there to be the lead blocker, and the kid doesn't come up with the ball. I'm sure Coach Orton figures, hey, we'll try something safe. We don't get it. We still got the wind at our back. Let's punt it down there 60 yards and make Cal Lutheran drive the ball. They got a new quarterback. Maybe we can force a turnover. So right now, Laverne's in a pretty good position in this ball game.
John Wilson is back deep to receive the kick from Andrew 70, who's been a busy man in this first half. And the kick is away, and it is a good one. Wilson makes a clean catch inside the 25, 30, 35, 40, and he's got room to run. Knocked out of bounds at midfield, and with 1:03 to play in this half, Cal Lutheran's got a chance to put some points on the board. Tell you, that got a rise out of the crowd. Good return by Wilson.
Yeah, that time they took out Rising, who's a real sure-handed kid, runs the ball real well as a position, what I call a position receiver. But here they put Wilson back there, who obviously has a little more speed. They set up a return. You're going to get a wall return here on the right sideline. You can see the blocking going on right there. He heads up the sideline, makes an excellent run out of it. Good blocking by the Kingsmen.
And it was the kicker, 70, who made the stop. Kane up the middle for big yardage. Inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Dwayne Morgan saved perhaps the touchdown. It looked like he was the last man between Kane and the end zone. I'll tell you, Brian Kane is a man possessed in this first half.
All right, here we go. It's that ISO or power. Cuts it back real good, then bounces it here outside. Holds on to the ball, which I'm sure Coach Harper's got a smile on his face for that. But right now, the clock's going to play an important role. And I believe Cal Lutheran is taking a timeout.
It is stopped with 56 seconds to play in the half. A 7-7 ball game. How about this game by Brian Kane? You know, before that carry, we had him with 16 carries for 102 yards. And that was a gain of, well, unofficially, we got 17 yards. So, oh, heck, my math was never good. But let's just say he's having a real good first half of football.
Well, the thing is, you know, out of this wing T offense, it's the kind of offense where you find out what play is going to work, and then you just kind of beat it to death. And that's what Cal Lutheran's doing. And the Canes has the advantage of the fact that the play that's working the best right now is his numbers getting called all the time. And again, it's just that sweep where they're pulling the 2 guards, they're trying to hook the corner or kick him out. And what I like about Kane is he sets his blocks up and he reads his blocks very well. He knows when to cut up. He knows when to take the ball outside. So he's a very, very good-looking runner. I'm very impressed with his ability in this wing T offense right now.
It is 7-7. And it is the only thing surprising about the score is that Cal Lutheran isn't up by a couple of touchdowns, because they have really dominated this game. With the exception of the big play from the University of Laverne, it has been all Kingsmen. Horton to throw to the sideline, intended for Bradley. He almost clipped his kicker, Alex Papike. Incomplete. That is Fortin's first pass of record. In the Cal Lutheran statistics, it shows Fortin has not thrown a pass this year, so we'll take that.
Well, let's give Coach Harper and his staff credit. You know, they're going to let Horton, you know, you're going to have to get the kid, you know, you got to get him baptized. You got to let him throw the ball, and they threw a real safe, quick out route. And the nose got down that time by Mr. Fortin. That usually means he didn't get his elbow out in front. Didn't deliver the ball, but, you know, he's got to feel a little better. He's already got that first pass off the, you know, off.
2nd and 10 from the 33, and Fortin scrambles out of trouble on the left side. He's got some room. Flag is down in the backfield. He's inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Gained yardage on the play, but let's see about the flag.
Well, I tell you, you get something down this deep, usually in the secondary, indication that you're going to have a holding call, possibly a clip. I would. All right, here we go.
Weber and Kane were both in the backfield, and they were both looking at each other after the flag.
Fortin on a straight drop back and gets outside contain. Bounces this thing out into the secondary and makes a nice run.
Holding is the initial call. It looked like Dana Zupke planted somebody from the back. Now let's wait for the call from Bobby Hunter. Try to sort this thing out. It is definitely against the Kingsmen.
Boy, this search, especially after a nice run by Mr. Fortin.
Here's the call.
Offensive holding, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, couldn't quite see it. Perhaps it was Weber on 47 here, Coach. Couldn't see the holding.
No, I couldn't either.
Couldn't see the holding. If the only hold that I saw, Weber did grab the jersey of Ray Austin. At any rate, 2nd and 20 from their own 43, and Fortin to throw again, and he is planted. Wow. He never saw number 64, Larry Hatley, the 6'2", 260-pound defensive tackle, and that is the wrong guy to get hit by.
Well, one thing Mr. Fortin found out that it's a lot easier throwing a tire through, a ball through a tire in the backyard. Nobody's hitting you there. But right here, he's just going to do a straight drop back, fake little eye dive, gets a little roll out here, steps up inside real well, but
just never saw him.
Got blindsided, as we call it.
Never saw that truck coming. It is 3rd and 20. And more than likely Fortin to throw again. Nope, Jay Weber with the call. And Weber is inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And with the wind that is blowing, it would be a long field goal regardless. But with this wind, it's an impossible attempt for Pike. And on 4th down, we'll see if Cal Lutheran will go for it. There's only 10 seconds to play in this half. I'm just seeing the clock, and the clock is going to be stopped with 7 seconds to play. Cal Lutheran to call timeout, and Fortin comes to the sideline. He's holding his back, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, he got a pretty good shot from. All right, here we go. It's just a little power. Pretty good blocking up front. Wilson, excuse me, tucks it inside, does a nice job running the ball. You got to give credit to Cal Lutheran's offensive line. They've had an excellent half. As you said, they ought to be probably up by 2 touchdowns. I mean, they've dominated things up front, but it's what we talked about earlier. There's been a couple of key turnovers. There's been a lot of penalties, and those things are drive killers. And you can't do those things and put a lot of points on the board.
Again, the record for Cal Lutheran is 1-5. They won their first game last week against Claremont Mudd. These two teams, Cal Lutheran and Laverne, they go back a long ways. They have met 18 times, and Cal Lutheran has won 16 of the 18 meetings. And the only loss was in the very first meeting between these two schools way back in 1962, and it was a big one. Laverne won it 46-6, but since then it has been all Kingsmen. Today, 7 seconds left to play in this first half. It is a 7-7 tie, and it is homecoming here at Cal Lutheran, and a good crowd is on hand.
We talked earlier, Clay, that we thought this was going to be a good football game, and I think it's, lived up to its billing. It's been very close, very good, even though the Kingsmen have dominated.
Last play of the first half, Fortin to throw it as far as he can into the end zone, looking for Nielsen, and it will fall incomplete, and the wind affected that pass, Coach. The clock runs out, and we've got ourselves a tie ball game after 1 half of play. Your score, Cal Lutheran 7, the University of Laverne 7. We'll be back with the KDTV Cal Lutheran halftime show after this. Great season last year. Bring me up to how far did you guys go? You almost won the championship.
Well, Clay, we went to the regionals, the Western Regionals up in Oregon. We're up in Portland, Oregon. We made it to the if necessary game. We lost our first game again in the in the tournament. We scratched, clawed back. We had a great performance. We just lost to Lewis and Clark. It was a tough team. They went on to the World Series, and we came back 1,000 oats. We ended the season with a national ranking of 13th in the country. Broke the school record for wins. We beat Pepperdine, Cal State Northridge. We had a phenomenal year. The kids played great.
What are the expectations going into this season?
Well, Clay, we've got a completely different ball club, physically and mentally, I think. Last year we had a lot of tough kids, just a real scrappy ball club. This year, I'm really not sure. I don't have a good feel for the guys. They're going to class. They're doing a great job in the classroom, socially, and they're working hard. I just don't know how well we're going to mold together position-wise. Position players, shoot, we've got, could be one of the best teams that we've ever had here. Pitching, though, we've got 7 new arms, only 2 guys returning, and they didn't throw a whole lot for us, so that's going to be the big question mark this year.
First game, quickly, Coach, we're just about out of time.
University of Southern California, the Trojans. Doubleheader on Sunday, February 3rd. It's going to be a tough one.
Looking forward to it. Hey, good luck this year,
All right, thanks
Coach.
a lot, Clay.
All righty. Rich Hill has been our halftime guest, the baseball coach here at Cal Lutheran. We'll return with more halftime activities after this.
Your Pacific Coast GMC truck dealer in Oxnard is Royal Carriage GMC, and they have a special offer. Look for this postcard in the mail featuring the Club Coupe Extended Cab Sonoma.
Here at Cal Lutheran.
Since 1959, California Lutheran University has been making a difference in the lives of its students and in the community which it serves. We have helped learners from all walks of life and all ages to develop a sense of ethics, values, and good judgment, leading to productive and effective lives. 1969 CLU graduate, the Honorable W. James Ware.
At Cal Lutheran, I learned the importance of living a life with vision, a life with purpose. My own personal vision of equal justice under the law was nurtured during my years at Cal Lutheran. Values. At Cal Lutheran, I learned some very important values which sustain me to this very day. Values such as the importance of each individual. This value is known as equality. Volition. Volition is a fancy word for action. I learned the importance of taking actions to keep these dreams alive, but more importantly, to involve other people in those actions.
One major strength I found in CLU's undergraduate and graduate program was the flexibility it gave me in taking classes that suited my personal and professional goals. I was trained in all areas of life, intellectually, culturally, physically. This led to many personal accomplishments. Today, I'm a senior vice president and the manager of the largest Smith Barney office in the country. CLU made a big difference in my life.
Cal Lutheran's growth has been attributed to its reputation for high academic standards, an outstanding and involved faculty, its Christian commitment to Lutheran education, and its beautiful Southern California location.
Vision, values, and volition. At Cal Lutheran, I caught on to a dream, a vision, that there can never be too much justice. I learned an important value, the intrinsic worth of each individual. And I learned the importance of making the right volitional choices to keep this dream alive. As a judge, I try each day to live up to these important principles which I first learned at Cal Lutheran.
We'll be back with more halftime activities when college football on KDTV continues. Your score, Cal Lutheran 7, the University of Laverne 7.
Joe Shirt, president of the CLU Alumni Association.
And it's my pleasure to be joined now by a man who is renowned for being one of a kind in college football. And in this day and age, that can be difficult. In his 44th year at the University of Laverne, Coach Roland Ortmeyer, affectionately known as Ort. And Coach, rather than go through your fabulous record, I think I'm just going to go point by point. A few of the things that I read about your program. You don't require mandatory attendance at practices.
We think everyone should be at practice, but we also know that they have other things to do. They have labs, they have work to do, they have girlfriends, they don't feel well, and sometimes the beach is very enticing. No, they're not required to be there. I don't take attendance.
You know, what was also interesting was hearing the story about how you guys got to the game this afternoon.
Well, that's really not a pleasure. Our bus didn't show up. We don't know just why yet, and so I just asked the fellas, you drive cars? Well, you know they all do. So they loaded in the cars, and I think we're all here. But I have to get them back yet, and so it's a worry. We don't take that very lightly, because traveling on the freeways with automobiles when you're responsible for 60 or 70 people, I'm worried about it, but I'd rather think about the game for a while now.
Okay, well, back to the unconventional way, which is a good way to put it, the way you run your program. Now, some coaches get really tied up in game films to prepare for the upcoming game. You don't watch them that much.
No, I looked at last week's films for an hour on Sunday evening, with a bunch of the players. We gather and look at them. We don't study them. We just are entertained by them. Entertained a little more if we win than if we lose. No, I'm really not into that. I think everything should be done on the field.
Now, in this day and age, all football players weight train, just about all of them, with the exception of some folks at the University of Laverne.
Well, we have a very nice facility, and our fellows are very involved in weight training. And I like them to do that, but they don't do that because of me. I really feel there's enough physical work to be done in this world that you don't need to do some artificial stuff. When I coached baseball years ago, my players had to rake the infield for 15 minutes before they could take hitting practice, and we really hit the ball.
Coach, final question, and then we'll make this a brief one. What is the goal for the University of Laverne before every year of the football team?
Of the football team. We schedule 9 games and hope to play all of them with some degree of success. A 500 for us means we did fairly well. 750 means we've done excellent. We've never won all of our games. We've finished the season 8-1 on 2 occasions, but we've never won them all. But basically, it's to have our fellows have a good time. If they aren't having a good time, we're fouling it up somewhere or another.
Well, they certainly have had a good time, and it's largely due to your direction. I want to thank you for joining us, and best of luck in the future.
Thanks.
All righty, Coach Roland Ortmeyer, his last year at the University of Laverne, 44 good ones. We'll be back with the rest of the Cal Lutheran Halftime Show after this.
Snacking isn't hip without a real cheese dip. That's Cheese Snack.
It's a fact. Cheese makes great snacks. So visit the Cheese Snack Shop at your store.
If you want to top this, add a slice of Swiss. That's a Cheese Snack fact. Everybody needs some money sometime.
To send money fast, call 1-800-CALL-CASH or come to any Western Union location.
Something in my heart just told me my son.
Western Union, fastest way to send money.
From out of a war-torn country comes the saga of a soldier searching for something to believe in.
Ryan, there's some orphans and a couple of nuns hiding. Get them out of that building.
Now, one soldier must fight 2 battles, one of his own survival and that of the children's. Susan St. James and Dennis Christopher face impossible odds.
The city's under attack. The kids need you and I need you.
Don't cry. It's only thunder.
Hi, George Thompson here, and you have a friend in the diamond business. Why do I save you up to 70% and give the same price as LA's Wholesale Jewelry Mart? I grew up and went to school here. My family and I still live here. When I see you in the supermarket or gas station, I feel proud to know that you got the finest quality jewelry at the lowest price. Test our 30-day lowest price and money-back guarantee. For example, a $1,200 half-carat diamond ring that goes on sale for $600 is only $399 every day at George Thompson's.
On the 14th floor, like 14-karat gold of Oxnard's Lower Brown Bank Tower for the lowest prices.
Alf's a bad boy, and it's too much for the Tanners.
That picture was worth $1,000.
Well, maybe the frame makes it look cheap.
So it's out to the garage for Alf.
You can't leave me out here. They're none of the comforts of home.
But when Alf gets a second chance...
You got that stubborn cranberry stain off my pajama tops.
Will he blow it? It's Cosmic Chaos on the next Alf.
Tonight at 7:30.
Hi, we're the Hartleys from Hartley Wholesale Nursery. We're located in, what do we do?
Richard Sandstill.
You guys ready?
Hi, we're the Hartleys from Hartley Wholesale Nursery.
Grower direct prices.
I know.
We're open 7 days a week.
Okay. We're located on Highway 118 on the corner of Balcom Canyon Road, and we have grower direct prices for you. If you need to have plants for your garden, this is the place to come.
We're open from 7 to 4:30 p.m.
Hartley Wholesale Nursery.
You got that right, Mom.
Okay.
We're filming?
Yes, I might get that good.
This week at dinner, we review the classic pizza genre.
First up, the other pizza. Bad cast, stale performance.
More expensive than an LA movie ticket. 2 thumbs down. Now the Amici pizza. Great performance. A pizza of epic proportion for only $4.99.
A thoroughly tasty and enjoyable pizza for the whole family. 2 thumbs up. Until next time, I'm Ibervici.
And I'm Siscolani.
And we'll see you at dinner.
Amici Pizza, the end of the domino theory.
Welcome back to Cal Lutheran Stadium. Just about ready to get underway for the second half of play. We hope you enjoyed our halftime show, especially that interview with Coach Roland Ortmeyer. Boy, he is something. 44 years at the University of Laverne. And for those of you who don't know where Laverne is, it is somewhere east of Azusa and somewhere west of Arizona. It's the best way to describe it. It's in the Orange County area. And I'll tell you something, Coach Ortmeyer, to say he's unconventional would be an understatement. You know, we talked about how he doesn't require his team to be at practice. And I asked him about that, and he said, well, yeah, I want them to be at practice, but sometimes there's more important things to do, like say, if you want to go to the beach. If it's a nice day at the beach, the kid wants to go there, I have no problem with that. He doesn't recruit, but he always turns out a real good football team, and it's a testament to Coach Ortmeyer that his team is 186, 184 in his career. Wow. Taking a look at the statistics, we see that in total yardage, Cal Lutheran has been dominant, particularly on the rushing end, where Brian Kane has led them. Kane has 22 carries on the afternoon for 114 yards after one half of football. And not surprisingly, Cal Lutheran is ahead in time of possession. And yet, or time of possession, excuse me. And yet the score is tied at 7-7. Cal Lutheran had a couple of great scoring opportunities in the first quarter, and they both went by the wayside via the turnover. Cassidy O'Sullivan has sprained his left knee. He is out for the afternoon, so Craig Fortin, number 18 there, with very little college football experience and practically no experience coming into this game. In fact, he played in only one game, and in that game he did not throw a pass. That was against Santa Clara in garbage time. He is going to be asked to guide the Kingsman helm here in the second half. We're just about ready to get underway. Number 6, Sean Cooper, is the kicker for Cal Lutheran here. Alex Papipe does the kicking for field goals and extra points, but it is Cooper who does the chores on the kickoffs. I can't see a number there of a player that is being attended to by the Cal Lutheran trainers, and we will try to pay attention to that. The kick by Cooper goes out of bounds. The wind has picked up slightly, and more than likely they will kick it again unless they want to keep that position, and they will. Actually, did Shabazz Cherry knock that ball out of bounds? Thank you. Seth Fullerton, my spotter up here, spotting that ahead of me. So that ball's knocked out of bounds by the University of Laverne, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Number 19, that is Alex Papipe, and I guess he's just stretching. I don't think he's in any problems unless he's cramping up a little bit. Doesn't look to be in serious trouble there. Again, Cassidy O'Sullivan, the Lutheran quarterback, is out for the remainder of this game. This is Nance running on the left side, and I'll tell you what, take your pick. 77 Bowman was there, 43 Sestito was there, 12 Kevin Evans was there as well, and for Nance it has been slow going. We mentioned the number 35 for Laverne, Nance, here on the carry, has been averaging 100 yards a ball game, but in the first half 11 attempts for 8 yards, and that's one of the reasons why. The Cal Lutheran defense has been quick to react to the ball all afternoon long. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. And once again, Nance gets the call, running on the right side, and once again, he is wrapped up. Ron Matthews, who has had a fine afternoon of football, number 74, points to the sidelines and to his teammates, and why not? Matthews is taking the place of Nate Brazelton, who is out with an injury, and so Matthews is asked to take the nose guard chores. It is 7-7 here, just underway in the third quarter. At the 32-yard line, 3rd and 8. Split backfield behind the quarterback, Pascal. And he drops back to pass. Has time, throws over the middle, incomplete behind the tight end, Vanderlinden. Bowman was putting some pressure on Pascal in the backfield and forced him to rush that ball. He had good protection up to that point and hold everything. There's a flag on the play. Illegal receiver downfield, and that is going to go against the University of Laverne.
Clay, I tell you, Cal Lutheran is playing great pass defense. Right out here, they took away the out.
Downfield on the offense.
See right
refuse,
here.
4th down.
Tight end's coming up underneath, but there's just great underneath coverage by the linebackers. Corners are playing real excellent pass defense also. So let's credit the Cal Lutheran secondary for some excellent defensive work that time.
I'll tell you what, sports fans, you haven't seen anything until you've seen a color commentator struggling through a homecoming crowd to get to the booth on time.
I'm telling you,
it was fun to watch you.
I've never seen a longer line at the bathrooms. Homecoming crowds are tough when you got to go to the restroom.
Here's the kick. It goes by John Wilson and out of bounds at the 25, and that is where the Kingsmen will take over. Hey, there's a Caulfield.
I'll be honest
Robert
with you, Clay.
Caulfield making friends with number 83, Aaron Fitzgerald. Go ahead, Coach.
If I didn't bribe the two guys in front of me at the urinal, I'd still be over there. So, I mean, I was lucky to get her when I did.
There's a discussion among the referees. Looked like another flag was down. I didn't see it, but here's a call, holding, and it's going to go against Cal Lutheran, so that'll move them back after the kick. So the Kingsmen will start deeper in their territory.
I'm sure when they review these films tomorrow, and again, Ort doesn't really review films, they just watch them for entertainment. But some of these linemen and guys are going to
got holding by the receiving team, post-scrimmage enforcement spot, 10 yards. First.
They're probably going to blame the wind for blowing their hands into these jerseys. You know, that's always a good one. So, Coach, I wasn't holding that. The wind blew my hands into his jersey.
There you go.
It won't work, I know.
1st and 10, that's because you've heard that excuse. 1st and 10 on their own 15-yard line. And again, it is Fortin, the quarterback. O'Sullivan out for the rest of the game. Out of the Delaware wing tee, and the give is to Kane, who is having a marvelous football game, but not a marvelous start here in the second half. Dragged down for a 3-yard loss. Larry Hatley, number 64. He's the guy that placed that big hit on Fortin late in the first half, making the tackle there for the loss.
One of the things, Clay, you'll see here as a replay is Laverne is getting some excellent penetration with their defensive linemen and then trying to bounce that play to the outside, which is what you got to do against that sweep. You want to try to run them east and west, not north and south, and get your people in pursuit.
2nd and 13, and the give this time is to Jay Weber, who spins off a man and is planted once again by Mr. Hatley. I tell you, 64 is causing a commotion in that Cal Lutheran line of scrimmage.
You mentioned Mr. Hatley earlier in the ball game. We were looking at that unusual wrapping that he's got on his left leg. It looks like they spent the night at Motel 6, and he took one of the pillows with him and wrapped it on his leg, you know. But obviously he has some kind of shin or knee injury that they're padding up.
No, it's not affecting him too much. 3rd and 9 from their own 17-yard line, and Fortin to throw. To the left sideline, intended for Leah Grand, incomplete. Morgan was there on the coverage. And that'll bring up 4th down, and against the wind, Cal Lutheran will have to kick. Not the only positive going Lutheran's way right now is that they will have the wind at their backs for the 4th quarter.
I'll tell you, Lutheran coaching staff's probably going to look at that play, and because Mr. Kane opened up down here in the seam, so they may come back to that and look to go a little deeper next time.
Bradley to kick, and it is a high kick. Short. 70 will let it drop, and watch out, Andrew, you don't want it to hit you. Dana Zupke, the center, will down it at the 47-yard line. And a little credit to Len Bradley for getting that ball as far as he did against the wind.
Hey, I'll tell you, you made a good point right there. If we get another look at this, number 71 did a good job bringing the ball back, but I really wonder if he didn't do that, if it wouldn't hit number 25, 70 in the back, because he was out there trying to throw a block, turned his back to the ball, and that ball was coming back toward him. We'll see it right here. It's going to take a bounce. You can see it right there. It's a good shot possibly of coming back and hitting him in the rear.
That really almost hit him. That probably would have hit him. At the 46-yard line is where University of Laverne will take over 1st and 10.
And you can see, Clay, with the wind, Laverne's probably picked up about 18 yards of field position just in the exchange. It's like having an extra guy on your offense. That wind, you know, we probably beat it into the ground. People at home are probably saying, God, these guys have a wind thing, you know, but it's true. It's making a big difference in this ball game.
Pascal gives to the first man through, the fullback Lynch, who is met at the line of scrimmage. Sestito, number 43, was there, along with Tom Pellegrino, the nose guard, on the run situations. Lynch did well just to gain a yard.
Excellent defense again, and you got to always, I think, put in parentheses, excellent team defense by Cal Lutheran. They really swarmed the ball very well, do an excellent job of helping each other out.
2nd and 9 from the 45. It is a 7-7 tie just underway here in the 3rd quarter. It has been an intriguing ball game.
Watch big number 84.
Long count the line of scrimmage. And Pascal, double play action, throws to the right sideline, has a man complete out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Boy, a terrific passing catch. Rod Zerbel made the catch. Mike Sylvester was on the coverage. I'll tell you what, Rod Zerbel was wide open. It took a good throw to get him there, but he had plenty of room between him and the defenders.
We're going to take another look. Zerbel's already come in motion across the formation, so they end up in man coverage. He runs what we call a wheel route right up the sideline. He's got his man beat. Corner doesn't get over there in time. Big play for Laverne.
Once again, going to Mark Staley's side, number 21. He's the guy that got burned on that touchdown pass. That may be a little unfair because it also may have been a blown coverage. At the 20-yard line, and once again, they call Zerbel's number. And this time, John Wilson is there to wrap him up and toss him out of bounds.
Zerbel did a good job. Excuse me, Clay, but Zerbel did a good job there just getting that thing of whatever he got, because that was excellent pass defense by Cal Lutheran. Came up. The one thing I really am impressed with the Kingsmen is they're really sure tacklers. They do an excellent job of tackling people. Not a lot of arm tackles. Seem to always be wrapping up and doing a real good job forming up on their tackle.
It'll be 2nd and 10 at the Kingsman 20-yard line. How about those haircuts, Coach, on homecoming day? Isn't that something?
They went to the same barber.
Yeah. I don't think that barber had a degree. No gain on the play for Nansen. That'll bring up 3rd and 10. Can we get another shot of those cuts, guys? Wow. That's Mike Clark, number 73, and next to him is Dana Zupke, the senior. He got a cut like that. I'll be darned.
I'll tell you, there's some proud mama sitting home right now looking at those heads. All right, there's another look at it. Nance coming off right tackle. Again, I've said it before, just excellent team defense by Cal.
Haircut by Black and Decker. Pascal going into the end zone for Landers, and he's got it. Touchdown. Oh, my. Staley was there. Corey Unlin was there. And for Landers, that was just an obstacle in his path to 6 points. 2nd touchdown of the afternoon for Lamont Landers. A terrific catch.
It's one of those where Pascal just throws the ball up. You'll see it right here. And he says, hey, you know, it's an equal opportunity. Go up and get it. Pascal just goes up and comes down with a rebound, more or less, and gets to 6 points.
That'll make it 13-7. Herrera on for the extra point. Perhaps one of his 11-foot specials, we'll see. The hold is down. Well, that kick is much better. And it is 14-7. Well, one of the reasons why you schedule a homecoming game is so you can give the fans a show and give them a victory. Right now, Cal Lutheran trails here in the 3rd quarter, 14-7 with 10:41 to play. And let's watch that again.
Okay, it's a straight drop back out play action. He's going to hang it up, and we just called a fade route.
Well, Landers made that touchdown. He really did.
He just went up and took it away.
All the credit in the world to Lamont Landers for making that catch. Staley and Unlin were right there with him. And he just went up and grabbed that football. That's just all effort.
You know, I don't want to put a knock on Mr. Ford because he's done a good job. But, you know, I think this also points out the importance that Cassidy O'Sullivan plays in the Cal Lutheran offense. Their offense has kind of lost a little bit of that spark and a little bit of that momentum. And hopefully Mr. Fortin, I think through Brian Kane, is going to get that back. You know, they've got to go back and establish what they've done real well so far, which has been that running game, and especially against this wind and with an inexperienced quarterback. So they're going to have to get something reestablished again.
Herrera to kick with the wind at his back, a high kick. Bradley pulls it down, and it's going to go off of his hands and into the end zone. He'll down it there. So at the 20-yard line, the Kingsmen will take over 1st and 10, and after being so dominant in the first half, and you're right, Coach, with O'Sullivan at the helm, it has been a different story here to start off the second half of play, and a lot of people right now are going to be watching number 18, Greg Fortin, and looking for production.
You know, and in the wing T offense, you don't have to be a gifted athlete. You just have to run the offense and pretty much do what the coaches ask you to do. So if he can settle down and get this done right now, things are going to work out for him.
This is Alonzo Williams with his first carry of the ball game, and he gets out to the 26-yard line, tripped up by the middle linebacker Wenrick. If Williams gained 6 yards on that play, and he did, that matches his longest carry of the season.
I think it's a good move by the Cal Lutheran staff. They got a little more quickness and speed in the backfield at that I-back, and with that good block from the fullback, you know, it's an excellent play, and they've got a little more speed in there right now.
Kane, who has over 100 yards, is not in the ball game. This is Jay Weber who gets the call, and Weber with a nice piece of running is across the 30 to the 32-yard line, and he has himself a first down for Cal Lutheran.
You know, let's give credit to the Cal Lutheran offensive coaching staff. Obviously, they're well coached. They do a good job. You know, you can see where Laverne's trying to come in and strip the ball and we'll see a good picture of it right here where they're trying to strip the ball, and Mr. Weber hugs that thing, boy, like it's the last loaf of bread he's ever going to have, and he puts it away and does a good job.
1st and 10 from their own 32. Williams this time, and no going. Wrapped up in the backfield. Making the initial hit was Tony Tedesco, the defensive tackle, 6'2", 220 pounds worth. He almost met Williams. The second Williams took that handoff.
That's excellent defense right there. Number 54 and also number 49 on the tackle just came up, and 57 to make a real fine tackle on Williams.
2nd and 10. No gain on that last play. This is Williams. Runs over a tackler at the 35, gets out to the 36-yard line. Melo Brown hit him low and hit him well, and number 29 made the stop. Williams had such a great moment against Santa Clara, and Coach, I know you remember this well. You know, he was averaging about 1.5 yards per carry, and his longest run was only 4 yards, and he was catching some heat about that. And sure enough, his longest run was not only for 6 yards in that game against Santa Clara, but for his first touchdown as well. It was a good moment for the young man. On 3rd and 6, Fortin to throw. He's got time. To the sideline for Deisinger. It's complete. And Deisinger did well to get the first down. He had to get to the 44, and he made the catch shy of the first down, but he was able to bounce off Kevin Sales and get the first down for the Kingsmen. Great play by the tight end.
I tell you, we may come back and look at this play and say it was a key. Here's Fortin, sets up real well. Very deliberate. Delivers the ball on the money. This may be the play we look back at and say, hey, this is where Fortin got his confidence and took over, because he's very excited right now. Did an excellent job of delivering the football.
That little sidestep for Deisinger was the difference between a first down and not. Jay Weber on first down at the Lutheran 45 gets a yard maybe, and that's all. Number 43, Brian Lloyd, was there on the stop.
You know, I like to study quarterbacks, and I'm watching Fortin right now. He's clapping his hands, he's bouncing his head up and down, he's pumping the kids up. He's feeling a little more in control of the offense. I think he's taking that leadership role that your quarterback has to take, and it's amazing what a completion will do for you.
First completed pass for Craig Fortin this year. Number 1. Am I right about that, guys? First completed pass? Okay. Talking to Tim Bednar, the Cal Sports Information Director, and for Fortin, he's going to try the option, and, well, he doesn't have the speed of Cassidy O'Sullivan. Rocky Winrick wraps him up in the backfield. Boy, how often have we seen O'Sullivan this year, Coach, making something out of nothing when he's surrounded by 3 or 4 guys. That time, Fortin, well, he learned a lesson. I don't think they'll be making that call in the future.
Well, one of the problems here is Fortin's a little too deep on the option. We've talked about running the option before. You know, to be an effective option football team, you got to get your quarterback on a downhill course. You got to get him up there in the line of scrimmage, and he was just too deep on that one.
3rd and 8. And Fortin to throw. He's going to run it himself. No, wrapped up in the backfield for the sack. Tony Tedesco, we've been calling his name quite a bit in this quarter, making the stop. That'll bring up 4th and long, and that is kick time for the Kingsmen.
I'll tell you, that wing tee offense, your quarterback has to have patience on that waggle play, and that time, if you waited just a split second later, Deisinger opened up again on that drag route, and they would have had a big play.
Fortin a little frustrated on the sidelines as Bradley kicks it away, and it is a beautiful kick. 70 will let it drop at the 25, also gets hit as well. I tell you, it's not an easy thing returning kicks. 1st and 10 for the Leopards at the 26-yard line. That ball down by Sal Jimenez, or was it Sal Jimenez who nailed Andrew 70? Sure was, 87.
The thing is, Clay, if you're that close to the football, catch the thing. If you're not going to catch the thing, as soon as he punts it, run off the sideline, because that kid's awful close to having that ball bounce. You know, that ball's shaped in a weird way, and that thing bounces a lot of funny ways, and I'm sure Ort's over there now talking to him saying, hey, if you're not going to catch the ball, come on over and stand with me and let's have a conversation.
That's Craig Fortin on the sidelines talking to wide receiver Josh Nielsen. Back to the action. 1st and 10 for the Leopards. They lead by 7. This is Lynch, the fullback. Lynch did well to hang on to that football. Looked like he was pulling up from between his knees, and he gained maybe 3. Chris Testito making the stop. Got some help from Tom Pellegrino. Go ahead, Coach.
Cal Lutheran's done a great job of taking Mr. Nance out of the football game. You know, Chris Nance has really not been a factor here, especially in the second quarter and in this quarter. And I'm sure one of the things Ort's going to want to do is try to get Nance back in their offense, because he's been such an integral part of it this year.
Number 35 is on the near side in the backfield there. And the give is to Lynch once again, and Lynch now finds it hard going up the middle. Nance for for the University of Laverne and only gained 8 yards in the first half. Let's take a look at the sidelines, and there is Cassidy O'Sullivan.
How's he doing this game?
Twisted left knee. He is certainly out for the afternoon, and we can only hope that it is only a twisted left knee.
Well, he's getting the ice treatment, ICE, and that's ice, compression, and elevation. So they're doing it the right way. So hopefully that kid will be back next week.
3rd and 5. Rolling to the right side, Pascal. Throws, it is incomplete, knocked away by Kevin Evans.
For number 84.
Pass was intended for the tight end, Craig Sipple. Incomplete, that'll bring up 4th down, and that is kick time for the University of Laverne. I'd like to tell you about a college football game going on this afternoon. Notre Dame is ahead of Miami, 22-17 in the 3rd quarter. And a correction earlier, I said Tim Bednar was the sports information director at Cal Lutheran. It's Tim Byers. Sorry, Tim.
That time, Laverne just played on a skinny field. They just ran out of room, got out too wide, and couldn't get the ball completed to their big tight end, Sipple, number 84.
70 to kick it away with the wind at his back. Wilson at the 30. Gets a block. 35 gets a block that was probably too good. Across the 40 to the 42-yard line, and there is going to be a clip call. Number 13, Robert Caulfield, is more than likely the culprit, Coach.
Yeah, he got caught. He got the guy turned his back on him, and he went ahead and continued to make the block, got him square in the back, and it was a clip. Good call by the official. I'm sure we're going to get it from Bobby Hunter here.
Here's the call from Mr. Hunter.
Sweet-voiced Bobby Hunter.
We've got a clipping on the return team.
Yeah, I'd say that's a clip.
Most definitely.
Call that one with Braille. So 1st and 10 for the Kingsmen, deep in their own territory once again at the 18-yard line.
We can go back, Clay, and remember 2 different occasions where Cal Lutheran started this deep. Laverne has played very tough defense and forced them to punt. So we've got to see if Cal Lutheran can get a 1st down and move the sticks here a little bit.
Brian Kane is back in the ball game at the tailback position, and he gets the call off the left tackle, and he is not going to gain anything. He's going to be dragged back a little bit by the defenders.
I tell you, old number 79 from Cal Lutheran came out in the secondary and squared up on number 27. It looked like something, I'll tell you, like King Kong going after Pee Wee Herman.
Well, that's Griff Boyster, 6'5", 260, and with an awfully short temper. And we may as well identify number 27 as Jeff Devine, who is 5'6", 152. Come on, Griff, that's unfair.
Football's a great game, isn't it?
not if you're 5'6", 152. To throw, Fortin, to scramble, Fortin. And he's down across the 20-yard line to the 22. Gained a yard or so on the play. And that'll bring up 3rd down. It's a different game with Cassie O'Sullivan out of there.
Definitely, and that brings up a big 3rd down right here because, again, if they don't get the 1st down, they're going to be forced to punt into the teeth of this wind, and it's played havoc with them all the 2nd quarter in this half right here, right now, because they're just getting little by little more and more field position all the time.
Boyster comes out of the ball game. He was going after Larry Hatley and fell down wrong, I guess. He's out of the ball game, and in there now to play tackle is David Banuelos on the right side. On 3rd and 7, they run it with Brian Kane, and he is across the 25 to the 26-yard line, short of a 1st down, and the Kingsmen will have to kick it away.
I'll tell you, there's probably a lot of second guessers up there, a lot of armchair quarterbacks, but this has been their best play all day. And again, it gets them some pretty good yardage, and but they come up just about a yard and a half short of the 1st down. So not a bad call. You know, in a situation like that, you got to go with your best back and your best play.
There is a player down for the University of Laverne, and it's bad news for Leopards fans. That is Larry Hatley. And he has been having himself a terrific ball game, particularly at the tail end of the 1st half and throughout this 2nd half. He is down, and can only hope they're not looking at that left knee, which, as Coach Machado mentioned earlier, is bandaged very, very heavily. It is 14-7 in favor of Laverne with 3:54 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Both teams coming off their 1st wins of the year. Last week, of course, Cal Lutheran defeated Claremont Mudd 14-7. And the University of Laverne defeated Whittier Christian 28-14. Now, Whittier Christian, Laverne, Claremont Mudd, those are schools that are going to be very familiar next year on Cal Lutheran's schedule. Been talking all year long about how they're moving down a division from NCAA Division II NAIA Independent to NCAA Division III. They will be in the SCIAC Football Conference. We'll tell you a little bit more about that. Right now, we're going to take a break. We got a timeout. Laverne 14, Cal Lutheran 7. Back after this.
They got the sharpest pencil in town, and they just sit around that showroom figuring deals and whittling that old pencil down.
Pacific Coast Ford is the #1 volume dealership in the Tri-Counties. And now get a $500 rebate on all new Escorts, Festivas, Rangers, Tempos, Mustangs, and Probes. Come to Pacific Coast Ford today, 1111 North Oxnard Boulevard.
They got the sharpest pencil in town.
George Thompson here, and you have a friend in the diamond business. Don't pay the retail price for your diamonds and jewelry. Instead, get up to 70% off by paying the same prices as LA's Wholesale Jewelry Mart. For example, a 1/3 carat diamond solitaire that retails for $1,200 is only $399. That's an $800 savings that you can go to Hawaii on. Test our 30-day lowest price money-back guarantee. You'll see, friends don't let friends pay retail.
Of Oxnard's 2 towers off 101, go to the 14th floor of the shorter brown one for the George Thompson Diamond Company.
Welcome back after the punt. The Leopards will take over 1st and 10. It's 14-7 here. We're in the 3rd quarter. The University of La Verne leading Cal Lutheran, and it is homecoming here at Mount Clef Stadium. On the field, once again, the Leopards have themselves some good field position after the short punt by Bradley against the wind.
Clay, that time they picked up 26 yards in the exchange of punts. So again, a big factor, the wind.
At the 45-yard line of the Kingsmen. To throw, Pascal. He's got 2 touchdown passes on the afternoon, looking for 3. Incomplete. The pass intended for Lamont Landers. Mark Staley was all over him.
Well, I tell you, that time, you never want to see 2 receivers that close to each other because usually they bring defenders with them. You're going to see right here, it's a little play-action fake to Nance, freezes the linebackers, gets outside the contain, delivers the ball real well. You're going to see in the picture where there are 2 receivers right next to each other. And you don't usually want to see that because usually a receiver brings a couple of defenders with him.
Landers and the other receiver, Ron Zerbel. Well, I tell you, Pascal delivered the frozen rope. He's throwing much better here in the 2nd half, Coach.
He looks much more under control, much more poised. He's doing a fine job.
2nd and 10, and to throw again. He's looking deep for Landers, and Landers runs into Staley. No flags. Both players going for the ball, and there was a collision before Landers could get there. Boy, I tell you, they're picking on Mark.
Okay, we're going to take another look again. Pascal does the same little play-action fake to the fullback. This time he gets the nose of the ball up, and it just takes off and floats like a dirigible. Just doesn't get there, and good pass defense.
I don't think Landers could have gotten to that ball even if he wasn't tripped up. That ball was way overthrown.
Wasn't a catchable ball.
3rd and 10 from the 45-yard line. 2 plays, 2 incompletions for Pascal. And he is to throw once again. Over the middle, he's got his tight end for a 1st down. Craig Sipple making the catch, Corey Undlin the stop. I'll tell you what, the strategy for the Leopards is obvious. Let's throw against him and throw well.
Okay, you're going to see Cal Lutheran just comes with about a 3-man rush and really a 4-man rush. Quarterback has plenty of times. They elected to keep their linebackers back that time in the coverage. Sipple runs a nice route, gets behind the linebackers, up underneath the corners, and makes a nice catch. So I think if you're going to have to shut this down, you're going to have to get a little more pressure on Pascal.
Gain of 20 on the play. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line of the Kingsmen. Looks like a reverse. Is a reverse. This is Zerbel. Dancing across the 25 and really hit at the 23-yard line. Mark Staley was there along with Corey Undlin. Staley made the pop.
Boy, you like to see a kid, especially after he's got burnt once, to come back and make a big play. Staley makes a super effort right here. Here's your fullback pitch to Nance, to Zerbel on the reverse. He makes a nice job. He bounces it out right here. There's a big tackle. That's a big time hit by 21. Super tackle by Staley.
Gain of 4 on the play. Call it 2nd and 5. At the 23-yard line, long count by Pascal. Out of the oh, there's a busted play. I'll tell you what, that's the quarterback's nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, when you reach back and you turn the hand to your big back and he's not there, you know something's going to happen to you pretty quick, and it does to Pascal there. He takes a pretty good shot, but give him credit. Held on to the football. A lot of times you see these kind of things happen and you get a turnover, but he holds on to the ball.
Boy, Pellegrino just swallowed him up. I don't know if that was a play action or what, but it looked like Nance was supposed to be the kid with the football, and instead Pascal ended up with it and didn't want it. And I don't blame him. He really got popped. Loss of 2, 3rd and 7 to throw. Gets away from one man, throws over the middle, has his man Zerbel inside the 10 down to the 5-yard line.
Just a super throw by Pascal. He had some pressure on him. In fact, the guy, number 83, Jorgensen, had him by his ankle there for a split second, and he just delivers the ball. Clay, you tell me. Let's watch it here. He has a very weird throwing motion right here where he delivers that thing. I mean, he just like he's letting it go for all it's worth. Puts it right on the money, though.
Kind of tries to throw it as hard as he can every single time.
It sure looks like it.
That's how much time is left in the 3rd quarter. And Vern is looking to change that in a hurry. This is Nance diving over the 5. He's still up in the air and dragged down at the 6-yard line. I got back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe that's about all. I'll tell you, the quarterback, Pascal, he's an interesting story. I was talking to Coach Ortmeyer on the phone last night about him, and he said the kid works in a warehouse, and there was a fire in the warehouse during the spring ball drills or something. Anyway, before the year even started, Pascal was lined up to be the starting quarterback, and he sprained his ankle running away from a very severe fire. And he was out for the first couple of games. He's only played 3 games since, and all have been shaky, but he's really warming up this afternoon against Cal Lutheran. Player down for, we don't have a number. That is a Leopard player. We are going to take a break. It is 14-7 in favor of Laverne. 50 seconds to play in the 3rd. The Leopards are looking for more.
Bob Crown for Crown Dodge, your Ventura Santa Barbara volume Dodge dealer, with some great buys on late model cars that have passed our tough 40-point used car inspection checklist. The cars you want, like 1989 Dodge Shadow, 4-door sedans, only $59.95. With the equipment you want, automatic transmission, air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, power steering and fuel injection. 1989 Dodge Shadow, 4-door sedans, $59.95. At Crown Dodge 101 Freeway, Johnson Drive exit in Ventura.
This week at dinner,
We review the classic pizza genre.
first up, the other pizza. Bad cast, stale performance.
More expensive than an LA movie ticket.
2 thumbs down.
Now the Amici pizza. Great performance. A pizza of epic proportion for only $4.99.
A thoroughly tasty and enjoyable pizza for the whole family. 2 thumbs up. Until next time, I'm Ibervici.
And I'm Siscolani.
And we'll see you at dinner.
Amici Pizza, the end of the domino theory.
That is Nance on the carry, and he is down to the 1-yard line on 2nd and goal from the 5. The player that was injured was George Alfaro, the freshman. Here's the play that we missed during the commercial break, and this is Nance getting down to the 1.
All right, it's a power sweep. They lead with the fullback. He's going to kick out the corner. Nance turns that thing up north and south and gets up to the 1-yard line, so a good call. Wouldn't be surprised if we'd see that again.
Well, that is the last play of the 3rd quarter. And the players will march down to the field, and we are going to take another break. It is Laverne 14, Kingsman 7, a big 3rd and goal from the 2 coming up after this. Welcome back. The Kingsman fans are having some fun, dancing to the music. I'll tell you what, the Kingsman football team would like to be having a little more fun than they're having now in their homecoming game. They trail by 7. We are in the 4th quarter, just underway here in the 4th, and it is 3rd and goal from the 2.
Last time in this situation, we saw Pascal dive it over with the quarterback sneaky. Big kid.
6'2", 200, and again, he tries to dive, and he's not going to get it. He may have gotten to the 1-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down and decision time for Coach Ortmeyer. Well, he likes to have fun, and it's a lot more fun to go for it on 4th and goal than kick a field goal.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. I would imagine you see Mr. Nance go over the top again.
It is inside the 1-yard line. There's Roland Ortmeyer.
Looks good in those stripes.
Yeah, doesn't he, though? Dressed colorfully.
They're going for it.
Ort's a heck of a guy.
That ball is inside the 1-yard line. It is down for a touchdown.
You get down that close, Clay, it really does become a guessing game. You got to gamble. Cal Lutheran felt they were going to come over the top with the dive. They had most of their people inside. And we see it here. It's just a toss sweep again. Fullback leads. Whoops, gets a little clip there on Unland. And 35 gets into the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you, it hasn't been the easiest of afternoons for Chris Nance. You see the numbers. 17 carries for only 13 yards, but when they needed 6 points, they got it from Mr. Nance.
The good ones always seem to come through for you.
20-7 is the score now. Herrera for the extra point. The hold is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. 21-7 with 14:20 to play. Cal Lutheran is without their most magnetic player, Cassidy O'Sullivan, and it's a long ways back now after this touchdown by Mr. Nance.
There's a touchdown again. It's just a toss sweep, what we call a power sweep. Fullback does an excellent job blocking on the corner, hooks the defensive end, and Nance just pretty much is able to walk in the end zone, untouched.
21-7 the score. Laverne in the lead. And the fourth quarter is just getting underway.
Well, if you're going to be down 21-7, you want the wind at your back. And they got that, so we'll see what kind of advantage Cal Lutheran's going to get with that. And we're going to probably see Mr. Fortin have to put the ball up toward the latter part of the game. If not now, we'll just see what the strategy is of the Cal Lutheran staff. They've been able to move the ball fairly well on the ground, so I don't think we're going to panic here yet. I'm sure they want to get one in the end zone right away, though.
Herrera to kick it off, this time against the wind, which has died down considerably from what it was before the ball game. Again, the wind is blowing from the northwest to the southeast, diagonally across the field into the face of the Laverne players. Well, there's the flag, which gives you a better idea than the description I just gave.
It's still good kite flying weather.
Robert Caulfield on the return, and he is across the 30 to the 33-yard line for Cal Lutheran. Off the squib kick, Doug Boots made the stop, number 51. And that is where the Kingsmen will take over, 1st and 10. Well, Fortin has completed his first pass of his career here at Cal Lutheran, and from the looks of things, down 14, you're going to have to complete a few more to get back in this game.
Good special team work by Laverne that time. Came down, did a nice job on the tackle.
There is Craig Fortin, the man on the spot, out of the Delaware wing tee, and the give is to Williams, and Williams is wrapped up in the backfield. Rocky Wenrick, the freshman middle linebacker. And you know, as a middle linebacker, you're asked to anchor that defense quite a bit. And Wenrick, as a freshman, has done a great job this afternoon.
Well, you're going to see a picture of it here. It's a bug sweep. Wenrick gets a little penetration right there, does an excellent job bringing him down. I tell you, if he hadn't made that tackle, the corner, he could have had the corner on that and got some big yardage. So big play.
Loss of 5 on the play, so 2nd and 15, and Fortin to throw. Looking over the middle for Deisinger, and it is incomplete. Deisinger gets upended by Kevin Sales after he couldn't get that ball. Well, looking for the big tight end, Deisinger. He's 6'6", 235 pounds, and when you overthrow a guy like that, you're throwing that ball pretty high.
We're going to look at it again right here. It's just a fake off the power. Fortin steps up, delivers the ball, gets hit just as he delivers. I think that had more to do with the inaccuracy of the throw than his delivery. But when you got a new quarterback in there struggling to get the offense moving, you surely don't want to face a 3rd and 14 and 3rd and 15, and that's what the young man's facing right now.
From their own 29-yard line, the Kingsmen. Out of the eye set this time. Play action. Fortin scrambles away from trouble, scrambles away from another man, and he's going to run for it. 40, 45, he's got the first down, and he's near midfield.
Well, I tell you, Clay, it looked like Fortin had 5 or 6 eyes that time. I don't know how he saw those guys coming out of the side, but he did a super job to avoid 2 big tackles, and which would ended up in a sack and a loss of yardage. You'll see it right here. He backs out. He's got backside pressure, misses that guy, does another nice move right there. Now he's out in the secondary all by his lonesome, and he shows some pretty good running move.
Gain of 20 yards on the play. And that was a big 3rd and 15 play. Fortin to throw once again, and he's in trouble, and this time he can't get away. Tony Tedesco making the stop. The sophomore defensive end grabbing Fortin from behind.
On the bootleg, Clay, you got to protect your quarterback's backside. And that time, Cal Lutheran just failed to protect his blind side, and they came up with a big sack.
It is 21-7 here in the 4th quarter. Plenty of time, just under 13 minutes to play. Just underway here in the 4th. It is 2nd and 17. After the sack, out of the I set, the give is to Williams. Running off tackle across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Short of the original line of scrimmage, Brown making the stop, number 29.
Boy, he's just jumping up and down, Milo Brown. He's excited.
I'll tell you, that whole team is excited. They're really looking forward to their 2nd win in a row if they can get it.
Yeah, he's pointing at the scoreboard and
pointing at the fans as well.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, he's pointing at the Kingsman sidelines. That's a dangerous place to be.
Now, especially on homecoming when you're at the other places, other field.
Hey, he's outnumbered. 3rd and 12. Fortin to throw, and he's going to go down once again. Brandon Carter was there on the stop. Number 60, Pierre Pernijad, actually made the hit. 6'1", 305 pounds. Brandon Carter was also there.
We're going to take another look at it right here. Again, it's just a fake off the ISO. He sets up, and we just don't do a real good job protecting that time.
Loss of 6 on the play. 4th and 20, actually a loss of 8, and Bradley is on to kick. High snap, he pulls it down. The kick is away. And 70 calls for the fair catch he just made at the 32-yard line. Boy, that kick was almost blocked.
I thought it was kind of interesting talking to Coach Ort that he mentioned that the bus, I guess, failed to pick him up for the ball game.
Yeah, wasn't that something?
And he, you know, this will tell you how laid back the guy is. You know, me, I'd be panicking. I'd probably be going crazy, pulling my hair out. And he just looked at the kids and said, "I'll tell you what, get in your cars and drive down there. I'll meet you down there." You know, so they just kind of all piled in their own vehicles and came down. And he said he didn't know who was here. He wasn't sure if everybody made it or not.
There's the kick again by Bradley. You can see he just barely got that away. Number 51, Doug Poots, almost made the stop. Or almost made the block, excuse me. There's a fumble on that snap, and it is recovered by the quarterback, Pascal. So a loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11. Boy, that would have been disastrous for the University of Laverne. 11:05 to play in this football game, 21-7 in favor of the University of Laverne. Howdy, sir.
Hi there.
I don't. Well, let's start off with this. What's your name?
Karsten Lundred.
Karsten Lundred, and what brings you up here?
Well, I think they invited me up here because I'm an alum, and this is homecoming, and they said, go up and talk to them.
Well, it's good enough luck, because the second you get up here, we got a fumble, and it's going to be recovered by Cal Lutheran.
You must be bringing
I'll
good
be
luck
darned.
for the Cal Lutheran.
All right,
people.
Carson. That's Kerry Caulfield who makes the recovery.
Been kind of an interesting year in Cal Lutheran football after a lot of years of change here. It's a transition year, and what happened to the quarterback? Did you hear?
Yeah, Cassio Sullivan, he's okay. He's got a twisted knee, and we just hope it's not anything more serious than that, but he won't come back for the rest of the afternoon. Well, after the turnover, 1st and 10. And Fortin gives to the first man through, Jay Weber, who is across the 30 to the 29-yard line.
22, Jay Weber.
Gain of a pair on the play, so call it 2nd and 8. Well, a big turnover here with 10:30 to play in the 4th quarter. Cal Lutheran trailing by 14 points, 21-7 is the score. Anything we should know about what's going on in the alumni organization?
Well, I'll tell you, all the alumni are down there waiting for the team to score and get back in this game. We want a winning homecoming game, you know. There's lots of reunion classes here this year, and
look out, nearly intercepted. I tell you, this game is getting exciting. Fortin on the pass, and that ball was darn near picked off. Go ahead, sir.
But I'm from the class of 1965, and we have our 25-year reunion this year, so got lots of people back, and it's a fun time. Looks like a good crowd out here. Interesting to look out from this vantage point and see that beautiful chapel coming up. It's fun to see all the building that's been going around at the college here, or university.
The school is improving. Larry Hatley is being helped off the field. He's been a big man for the University of Laverne throughout this football game. I tell you, the school is improving. The team is certainly going to improve when they move to that division the next year, and the alumni support is a big part of it. We appreciate you stopping by.
All right, thank you.
Thanks very much. Go ahead and pass those earphones to Coach Machado. Let's watch that last play again. That pass was darn near intercepted. Fortin looking to the left side, and boy, I tell you, right off the shoulder pad of Jeff Devine and nearly picked off. Here's a pass to Leogrand in the end zone, and that ball is incomplete. That was a 3rd and 8 play. That'll bring up 4th and 8. And, Coach, I would have to say that this late in the game and as far down as they are, they're going to have to go for it on 4th and 8. Here's the play again.
Okay, he runs a wheel route, or what we call a fly route. I think he'll go ahead and punt the thing away. They played real good defense. Laverne hasn't really done a whole lot this quarter, and you know, 9:56, that's a lot of time. You know, they're only down 2, and they got the win, so...
Looks like we got a field goal attempt here. Now with the wind at your back?
Why not?
Heck, 35, 36-yard line, depending on where that ball is held. This is going to be a 45-yard attempt. This is Pike's longest attempt of the year. Leogrand will hold at the 46. Boy, you and I were thinking the same thing. Punt, and that's usually the case.
Well, he's going to have to take out his 8-iron and hook this thing.
Yeah, with the wind at his back, but blowing to his left. Here's the kick. Is it long enough? It's going to hook to the left, no good. And who's there to make the call but number 29 himself, Malo Brown. Just the guy Cal Lutheran wants to see. Call that kick no good.
I'll tell you, Malo must have drove a real fast car down here because, you know, he's doing a little too much taunting probably, and you know, you hate to see that happen, but he's caught up in the excitement of the game. And like I said, Clay, I think Milo Brown must have drove one of his sports cars down there because he's going to have to get out of this town in a hurry.
I'll tell you what, 9:50 to play in the 4th. It is 21-7 in favor of the University of Laverne. Cal Lutheran, after the turnover, could not capitalize, and they are going to need another one, or at least get that football back in a hurry. This is Nance, and Nance gets what he's been getting all afternoon long. Hit hard at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
It'll be interesting to see how Coach Ort's going to approach this phase of the game right now, whether he wants to start working on the clock right now, or if he's still going to open up and throw the ball.
Scott Yorkeson, the left defensive end, made the stop. He's on the near side, and there's the time left in the ball game. Well, the scoreboard tells the story. Kingsmen need to get back in this game in a hurry. Long count the line of scrimmage. Now Pascal will throw. Rolling to the right side under pressure, and the pass is almost intercepted. Intended for Craig Sipple. Kevin Evans nearly came up with the interception. The tight end Sipple never had a chance. Great coverage by number 12, Kevin Evans.
Well, I tell you, that's what Cal Lutheran needed right there, was that turnover, and Evans stepped up in front of the tight end and almost came up with a big turnover. We're going to see it right here. Quarterback rolls out, he's got his tight end on a drag, and Evans steps right up inside for the pick and just doesn't come up with the ball, that's all. Did an excellent job of defense over by Kevin Evans.
9:11 to play. Pascal on 3rd and 9. On the draw play, it's Nance looking for some room to run across the 35, needs to get to the 40 and does not. Corey Undlin was there on the stop, and so was that man again, number 12, Kevin Evans.
I tell you, I don't know what Corey Undlin's packing, but I mean, you know, he doesn't look like he's that big, and he doesn't look that physical. But boy, every time he hits somebody, they go down in a hurry. Here we go on a draw. Really good play.
6'2", 195, that's all. Very ordinary build for a linebacker strong safety. Well, it looks like he plays both the way he's been all over this field today.
He does an excellent job. And actually, Staley, number 21, also came in on that tackle, got him by the ankle. So we give credit where credit's due.
On 4th and 2, it is kick time. 70 into the wind. Big rush, and 70's got to run it, and he's going to have the first down and plenty more. He's still going at the 45. Down out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Coach, I don't think that was by design as John Wilson knocks him out of bounds. It looked like 70 did that out of necessity. If he kicks that ball, he's kicking it right into the teeth of the Kingsman defense.
Well, the way Ort runs his program, he probably tells his punter, you do what you want to do. You want to punt the ball, punt it. You don't want to punt the ball, don't. But right there, in loses contain. You'll see what happens here. 43 gets blocked. They lose contain. Now they get a good wall set up out here, and he gets a big yardage out of this.
A delayed draw on the punt, maybe? I don't know.
What the old 70? He's been active in this game, hasn't he?
At the 40-yard line, Nance trying to find some room to run. Gains 5 on the play to the 30-yard line. Chris Sestito, number 43, cuts him down there. And for Chris Nance, that's about as much yardage as he has gained on one carry all afternoon.
Well, I think Laverne's found the play that you know, is best suited for him against this pursuing defense, and it's a toss sweep. Get the fullback out there, kick out on the end, and let him just kind of cut that thing back up against the grain and get some yardage.
2nd and 5 from the Kingsman 35. 7:30 to play. 21-7 Laverne. give it to the first man through, and that is Lynch, the fullback, and tripped up at the line of scrimmage by Pellegrino, 62. Lynch did well to get back to the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, also on that tackle was Kerry Caulfield, very active middle linebacker. I'm extremely impressed with him. Of course, Cal Lutheran's always been noted for their linebackers. They're kind of like the Penn State of the small colleges. They've always had real good linebackers. Sam Sianovich was a great linebacker for him.
Oh, yeah.
I played with Sam at Santa Clara High School, and a good friend of mine. And but they've always had good linebackers, and Caulfield's keeping the tradition alive and well.
3rd and 5. Pascal to throw. To the right side. He is looking for Zerbel, and Zerbel is bumped by Wilson, and there is no flag. Wow. Look at the Laverne sidelines. They are really going crazy.
Well,
Zerbel is saying I was bumped.
Well, there was more than bumping. You know, there was a lot of contact there. There's just a missed call. You know,
you watch it again. We'll probably see it on the replay. It was pretty obvious. Yeah, ball's going too high. He was bumped before that. Wilson bumped Zerbel, and it was an obvious bump, an obvious pass interference call that was not called.
Well, it looked like two guys at Cotillion dancing. I mean, they were hooked up pretty good, and it just was a call that was missed, and you know, that happens.
So 4th and 5, and that is punt time. 70 will kick it away. 6:45 to play.
You're sure he's going to kick it away?
Well, it's going to be blocked. Oh, wow. Sal Jimenez, number 87, came in and blocked it.
It's out of this world.
A great moment with Perfect Strangers.
Turn it off!
Perfect Strangers.
Weeknights at 7.
Meet David.
Come on, don't worry. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Meet Sandy.
That's what we told our dog Sparky just before we took him in to be neutered.
Meet them all. The Hogan family. Weekdays.
Weeknights at 7:30. 5-yard line, breaking a few tackles. And the Kingsmen have another first down for Williams. That's his longest run of the afternoon.
I'll tell you, this is a great game. You know, you can already sense the shift again in momentum. It's with Cal Lutheran right now. They got the win. Their offense is picking up a little bit, getting a little confidence.
We have been off the air. We lost power momentarily, folks, and we apologize for that. We are back now. It is 1st and 10 for the Kingsmen on the 35-yard line, and it is Fortin to Deisinger again. While we are away, a big shift in momentum. Craig Fortin has just completed his second pass on this drive. You saw the blocked punt by Sal Jimenez, and from that point on, it has been Kingsman momentum. They have been really fired up. The crowd is back into the game. They trail by 14, 21-7 with 5:45 to play. Once again, apologies for the loss of power, but we are back in a great ball game. At the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, and timeout is going to be called. Let's see by who. The Leopards are going to call timeout. Coach Ortmeyer probably wants to talk things over, and there is your story on the scoreboard. Craig Fortin heads to the sidelines to talk it over with Coach Joe Harper. Gets a pat on the head from Tom Leogrand, and why not? Fortin's been having a hot hand here on this drive, Coach.
Ort's probably out there talking to his kids, asking them what restaurant they want to stop on the way home. You know, McDonald's or Burger King. You know, let's make a choice, guys. You know, he doesn't get real excited, and right now his kids are kind of in control, but probably a good timeout. You know, get the defense reorganized and say, hey, they've clipped off a couple of first downs. Guys, we got to stop this thing. 5:40 to go, and let's just hang in there and play some good, solid defense. They've got to take the tight end away. Right now, Deisinger's having a field day out in the secondary, so they're going to have to take that big tight end out of the offense.
Tell you, Craig Fortin is having quite a drive. By far his best drive as a Kingsman.
Well, we talked about it. You know, this is a great chance for him to get some playing experience. You'd like to see him get it under different circumstances, but, you know, he's improved quite a bit from the first series. You know, right now he's looking real good, running the offense real well.
Again, the starting quarterback, Cassidy O'Sullivan, out with a twisted knee. This is Williams getting good yardage inside the 20. Still on his feet inside the 15, fighting his way to the 11-yard line. Alonzo Williams. He just refuses to go down.
Great run by Williams. He just didn't want to stop his legs, and he didn't. He kept driving and drug a couple of Laverne defenders with him. And right now, Cal Lutheran's knocking on the door. And I remember when you called me and told me we were going to do this game, you said, Coach, it's going to be a barn burner. It is. Here's the play right here. Little ISO again. You can see his leg drive. And he gets a little assist from 79.
Of course, that's the always colorful Chris Boyster. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Fortin to throw. Over the middle, touchdown! Tom Leogran with the catch. Melo Brown on the coverage is not going to celebrate after that play. And Cassidy O'Sullivan, thumbs up for Mr. Greg Fortin with that touchdown pass.
This is a great call, little play action pass. Hopefully we'll get a look at it. Here we do. Little fake off the ISO, comes up, hits him on the slant route. Give Fortin credit. He was going to get drilled. He knew he was going to get drilled. He did get drilled, and still completed that ball for a touchdown.
43, Brian Lloyd really nailed him in the midsection, and Fortin was down momentarily, but he's on the sidelines okay. Here's Papike with the extra point, and an important one goes right through the uprights. It is 21-14 with 5:08 to play. Boy, what a ball game. Let's watch the touchdown again, Coach.
All right, right here, he's going to fake the ISO off right tackle. He's going to get stuck right there, but boy, he delivers the ball real well. Puts it right on the money for a touchdown, and Cal Lutheran's right back in this ball game. And here again, they've got the win. They've got the momentum. A lot of this is going to rest on Mr. Pascal and see if he can get the offense to move and put some first downs together.
Only the 2nd touchdown reception for the Kingsmen this year, both by number 1, Tom Leogran.
You know, the kid put the ball right where it had to be. You know, it couldn't be up in the air. He put it down low, got it inside that inside linebacker there, was getting into that drop zone. And just a great catch, great throw, well-executed play. Very good call from the sideline. So everything went well that time. Let's see if we can now hold Laverne and put a last-minute drive together and get a win here.
Well, we got the band playing.
It's a great game for homecoming.
I tell you what, it is 21-14 Kingsmen. Papike to kick. The Leopards a little wary of the onside kick, although it would seem a little early. Plenty of football left with 5:08 to play. Serval back deep to receive, and here is Papike. Puts the shoe to the ball, and it is a kick heading toward the left side of the end zone. It does get into the end zone. No return, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Leopards on the 20-yard line. And this is where the Kingsmen defense will be called upon to do the job that they have been doing all year long. Kingsman defense has been highly rated. In fact, it made no bones about it, with all the problems of the Cal Lutheran football program and the switch from Division II NAIA independent down to Division III this year. The defense has been the thing that has held together all throughout. Really, there was only one team that really took it to the Cal Lutheran defense, and that was Santa Clara in week 5. But since then, the defense has played very, very well, and before that as well. This is Nance running around left end. And Nance is tripped up by Kevin Evans, number 12, who is having a superb 4th quarter.
I tell you, that time Laverne went back to the thing that they've been doing real well, that toss sweep to Nance, but excellent pursuit by the Kingsmen. Great defense. We're going to take a look at it. Reverses out. Power sweep. 11 tries to kick out, but look at it. You can see the jerseys coming. There's Caulfield. Just a great job of team pursuit, team defense.
No gain on the play. It is 2nd and 10. Pascal, the quarterback, with the wind blowing at his face. Gives it to Nance, and Nance is swallowed up again. Evans made the initial hit, and number 49, Sylvester, finished him off, but that man there is having a Lawrence Taylor type of ball game. He has been everywhere.
Well, you hate to see this situation. Vern, they're sitting there facing a 3rd and 12. Here again, power off tackle.
Now they keep running in this direction, Coach, and Evans keeps responding with big plays.
Nice job right there. Not a real good job of blocking by the offensive line that time. Just didn't come across. Fire out real well. Big play for Laverne right here.
Oh, yeah, huge. 3rd and 12. Kingsman looking to get the football back. Pascal will throw over the middle. Incomplete. That'll be 4th and 12, and it's kick time. Corey Undlin, who else was there on the coverage? The pass intended for the tight end, Sipple.
I tell you, he had Sipple over the middle running just what we call a dump route or seam route right through the safety and threw the ball behind him. You'll see it right here, a little play action fake. Sipple's wide open. Quarterback just gets a little bit behind him, otherwise they'd had a first down. Right now, Laverne's facing punting into a stiff wind. Cal Lutheran's got the momentum, going to get the football with the win.
A good pass would have meant first down. Good coverage by Undlin, but had that ball not been thrown behind him.
Looks like they're going after the punt here.
Andrews 70 to kick. It is a low kick, good enough to go against the wind, and Wilson bobbles it across midfield and will fall on it at the Kingsman 48-yard line. And that is where the Kingsmen take control, 1st and 10, 3:33 to play. Well, what a boost it would be to the Cal Lutheran program to come away with a victory. Down 21-7 early in the 4th quarter. That was the last Leopard touchdown, was the first play of the 4th quarter. Here's that kick one more time, and you keep that ball low.
I want to say something here. Let's give John Wilson credit. You don't get it up on the second time, you better get on the ball. He does a good job to get on the football.
This is Jay Weber running up the middle, and Weber is in Leopard territory down to the 40-yard line.
Clay, I was going to say that let's take a look at that first play off this series, because that's going to be a key to what's going to happen in this drive. And just a straight dive. You're going to see it right here. Quarterback's going to reverse out, hand the ball to the fullback on straight dive. Excellent play. Good running by Weber. First down for Cal Lutheran.
Coach Joe Harper said about Jay Weber, he's all the things you'd like a running back to be, except big, strong, and fast. Also said he's got a lot of heart.
He's a winner.
At the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. In Laverne territory, flag flies, Fortin rolls right and throws incomplete for Leogrand. He short-hopped it, but of more immediate concern is the penalty. It would appear that there was movement on the Kingsman offensive line. Boy, Leogrand is now talking to the Laverne sidelines.
Left side of the offensive line, number 71, got a little early jump that time, and they're going to get signal here for a procedure call.
Now Bobby Hunter is going to sort things out, sporting that fancy hairdo. Let's look at it again.
You'll see movement right there at the left offensive tackle and left guard just pop up a little bit. I talked to Bobby at halftime and told him I mentioned his hairdo.
On the offense. Still first down.
What did you say about his hairdo?
I met Bobby at halftime in the locker room. I went up and introduced, just talked to him because we're good friends. And I said, hey, Bobby, I mentioned your hairdo. And he said, well, listen, you tell these people that 3 of my crew are from Bakersfield. And he told me one other gentleman was from someplace, but I forgot.
Well, that's all right.
Okay.
Okay, Coach. I'm sure Bobby will forgive you. At the 45-yard line. 1st and 15. 2 wide receivers on the near side. Actually, Leogrand is going out of the ball game. He had to get out of there. Fortin to throw. Lofts it up in the air for nobody, and he's lucky to get it back. Nielsen broke over the middle, and Brian Kane was heading down the right sideline. An obvious mix-up on the pattern because there was nothing but leopards around that football.
That was a timing route. He just wanted to run a fly route up the sideline, and he was going to hang it up and let the guy get in. You can see it right here. It's what we call a wheel route, 44 up the sideline. And it's just, that's just an example of the ball went further than the doggone receiver. He just overthrew that thing. Very simple.
2nd and 15.
Watch for Mr. Deisinger to get back in this thing.
3 minutes to play. Deisinger, tight end on the right side. And the give is to Weber on the draw, and Weber gets nothing. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that was about all. And that'll bring up 3rd and 15. Gain of a yard, so 3rd and 14. Needless to say, a big 3rd down play. They've got 2 chances at this. Obviously, they'll go for it on 4th down. Clock is moving. 2:42 to play. 21-14 in favor of the University of Laverne.
Well, you don't want to panic here, Clay. This is a 2-down area. They're obviously going to go for it on 4th down, so you're not going to need to get it all here, but you'd like to get at least half of it on this play.
An anxious Joe Harper watches from the sidelines. And on 3rd and 15, Fortin to throw. He's got good protection. Throws over the middle for Deisinger, and the ball is dropped. And I'll tell you, Deisinger really took a hit from Ray Austin, perhaps the top defensive player in a leopard uniform. 6'2", 253 pounds. We've been calling those dimensions all afternoon long, and for a reason. Deisinger really took a shot.
All right, Fortin, he's going to come right out here. He's got his tight end on a drag. Excellent throw. Watch. You'll see Deisinger take his eye off the ball right there just for a second. He kind of wanted to check his path and see who was in his way. And, you know, that little lack of concentration sometimes makes that ball pop out of there.
Well, here's what it comes down to, 4th and 14.
You got something in your trick bag or saved, you better bring it out now.
Throwing long for Nielsen. Incompleted, just ahead of the outstretched hands of number 81.
Not a bad play, not a bad throw, just a little bit off. Pretty good execution.
Let's watch it one more time, and
it's a throwback. He's got his guy on the post route, 81. He's right there, just a little bit overthrown. Nice effort by 81, nice throw by 18.
Boy, that close. It really was close. Fortin.
It can be a game of inches at times.
Yeah. That's how much time remains. And the University of Laverne has the ball and a 7-point lead. This is the fullback, Lynch. And Lynch is stacked up. Tell you what, 74-run Matthews is coming up with the ball. 2:02 remain. 2 minutes remains. Tell you what, the Cal Lutheran sidelines are screaming for a timeout, and finally they got it. Clock stops at 1:59 to play. Timeout, Kingsman.
Here's a look at the play right here. It's just a straight dive. Excellent defense by the Kingsmen. And Laverne's going to have to get more off that first down play, or they're going to end up being forced to punt again. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cal Lutheran come after the punt. And it looks like we got a timeout.
Timeout, Kingsman. 21-14. Next week, the Kingsmen are at Whittier College. November 3rd, they're on the road against Southern Utah before returning home for their final game against San Francisco State.
The Gators.
The Gators of San Francisco State. We are proud to be carrying a football game November 3rd that, boy, I tell you, what a great matchup. In Division II football in California, you won't find much better than Cal Poly San Luis Obispo out at Cal State Northridge. Northridge has got a player coach, Albert Fan, who has been lighting up Division II college football. And speaking of good teams, how about the Lakers? Preseason basketball on KDTV. The Lakers are going to be against Golden State, New Jersey, and, well, New Jersey twice, actually. Both of those games are going to be in Canada, and all three of those games are coming up real soon. The Los Angeles Lakers right here on KDTV.
This time of year, if you're a sports, that's great. You know, you got baseball, football, basketball, and hockey all going on.
You got all of them.
You got cable TV, you know, you don't want to be a woman.
2nd and 8. This is Nance, and Nance is to the 49.
I meant you don't want to be married to a sports nut watching nothing but cable TV.
Oh, my.
God, we'll get calls on that one. I love all you women out there. No, don't do that.
3rd and 5. Our producer, Will Givens, just said we'll print Coach Machado's phone number. 3rd and 5, and here's the replay. Nance getting to midfield, and timeout is called once again by the Kingsmen. Well, it's pretty simple from this point out. The Kingsmen need to get the football back. They are down by 7, 1:53 to play.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Orton wants to call right here. He's got the whole. They're probably taking a vote over there, knowing the way he runs his program. You know, they're just deciding. They probably got some little clipboard trying to draw up something right now. But 3rd, I don't know if I'm going to see him put the ball up in the air right here. It'll be interesting. I think once again we might see Nance on that toss sweep, possibly looking at the tight end on something on a controlled pass nature. But I don't see him coming down deep and throwing the ball deep.
Now the ball at midfield. And here we go. Big 3rd and 5 play. 21-14, the Leopards.
Big play.
That is the quarterback, Pascal, who has had a great second half of football. On 3rd and 5. Pascal to throw. To the left side, almost intercepted by Sylvester. Wow, that ball hit him right in the face mask, if not in his hands.
He had nothing ahead of him but Green Acres. I'll tell you, he'd have been gone. It's a shame he didn't come up with that thing. We're going to see it right here. It's just a little bootleg action off the power fake. He lets the thing go, and God, there he goes.
Oh, wow. What's the word Lombardi used to say? Nothing but God and green grass between him and the end zone. That's all there was.
That was it.
So 4th down, and one of the busiest men that we have seen in recent times, Andrew 70 on to kick. Wilson back to receive. Kick is away against a heavy rush and a pretty good kick against the wind. Wilson at the 15 dropped it, picks it back up. He's at the 20, gets out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and that is where the Kingsmen take over with 1:38 to play.
Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. First down and 10 for the Kingsmen.
Let's take a look at what you can expect tonight on KDTV. Tales from the Dark Side at 4:30. American Gladiators at 5 o'clock. 21 Jump Street at 6, followed by Dracula and Alf. And also our main event movie tonight is Don't Cry, It's Only Thunder, starring the talented Susan St. James, from the 10:15 classic film Bonnie and Clyde, starring Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. First and 10, and Fortin to throw with 1:38 seconds to play. Is intended for Len Bradley at the sideline, incomplete, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Well, you want to make the big play, Coach, but when do you go for it?
Well, he's going to try to set something up. Obviously, he wants Fortin. If we can, they're going to hit some quick outs here. It looks like try to get the corners to suck up and then try to hit something deep down the sideline. Obviously, 1:35, they're going to have to hit something big. They got a lot of yardage to make up. Still have the win at their back. Good things have happened to them. I still wouldn't ignore Mr. Deisinger over the middle.
2nd and 10. Fortin to throw. Intended for Bradley, and it is overthrown. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Well, we've talked about this before. Really, the best pass rush or the best pass defense is a pass rush. And right now, number 49, that big middle linebacker, they're putting him on the outside, just kind of like they do with Lawrence Taylor, letting him get down in a sprinter stance and just cutting him loose.
Got 1:31 to play in this football game. It is 3rd and 10. Right now, downs are more of an enemy of Cal Lutheran than the clock.
I mean, if I saw Ray Austin coming at me full speed, I think I'd lose a little concentration, too.
3rd and 10. Fortin over the middle, intended for Leogrand, and he's got it across midfield, and the Kingsmen are alive.
And that was a super, super catch by Leogrand, and a nice throw by Fortin. I'll tell you, said it was going to be a barn burner. It's coming right down to it. It's a great ball game right now. Cal Lutheran first down in midfield.
Boy, Tom Leogrand with another big, big catch.
Here it is, straight drop back, going to deliver right up. Boy, just a great grab, great throw. Super play by the Kingsmen.
Jeff Devine was the only man between Leogrand and the end zone. If he missed that tackle, Leogrand was gone. Fortin dumps the ball off to Alonzo Williams, who is out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Knocks a few ticks off the clock. 1 minute, 8 seconds to play. 21-14 Laverne.
Most coaches go into a ball game and they always save one play. You know, keep it back in the back of your mind if you need something big. Right here, it's just a straight rollout. Going to dump the ball we call a flood route to the wing. Good control pass. And Cal Lutheran sitting there facing, what, a 2nd and a long 7.
Call it 2nd and 8, just inside the 45-yard line. Coach Harper looking calmly on the sidelines, as he always looks calm. And Fortin to throw, he's in trouble, gets away from trouble. Rolls to the left side. And he's going to be sacked. Chris Kimberly, 5'6", 200 pounds, sacks Fortin at midfield. A loss of 4 on the play.
That's just inexperience right there. He did a nice job to get away from the first guy. Probably should have got the ball out of bounds. Just throwing the ball out of bounds, you know, then come back. You'll see it right here. He makes a nice move to get away from one guy, then this number 17, you know, that's like trying to run through a redwood. That's a big, wide kid, number 17, and he does a good job making the tackle.
Well, he's listed as 5'6", 200, but looks a little taller and a little thinner. 5'6", 200. Wow, that's a bowling ball.
Yeah, he's a big kid. Either that or he's got extra large shoulder pads on.
Well, that brings up 3rd and about 14 yards to go.
This is where you got to probably try to come up the middle here. And I think, yeah, it's true. This is their 3rd time out.
Kingsmen called their last time out. 55 seconds to play. They have got to get into the end zone.
Play you're either going to see here where Cal Lutheran's going to try a pass down the middle and then have 2 plays called in the huddle, or they're going to have to work the sidelines. They're out of timeouts.
Bradley goes wide right. Nielsen is wide left on the short side, and that is the man who's going to try to deliver the ball. Fortin. He's got good protection. Throws over the middle. It's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Jeff Devine. Devine still on his feet at the 35, at the 40, and Fortin is going to make the tackle. flies. Dave Deisinger was hooked up a little bit with Rocky Wenrick, but it is interception. The interception made by Devine. And, well,
I think you're going to have a clip on Ray Austin on Deisinger on the return.
Here's the look one more time, and this is the ball game here.
It's just aired out a little too much. Not quite sure where that one was going.
Well, Josh Nielsen was the nearest receiver. He was headed up the left sidelines, and perhaps Fortin was anticipating.
You're going to see the clip coming up right there.
Yep, that's it, all right.
Boy, that could have been nasty.
That could have been a nasty injury, sure. Deisinger's okay, and I don't know that that's Craig Fortin deep in that corner that we're seeing there. Actually, that was Deisinger.
Oh, there's going to be a flag right there.
Yep, Pascal fell on the football, and Ron Matthews ran him over. Well, and now some shoving going on. Referee's doing a pretty good job of breaking this up. Clock stops with 37 seconds to play.
Well, I tell you, that's a vulnerable position.
Late hit.
That is Fortin. And Craig Fortin did as good a job as you can ask for what he was called upon to do. I mean, here's a guy who wasn't even on the roster before the year. Cassidy O'Sullivan is called to play quarterback because of the problems with the first two quarterbacks. Well, here's the interception one more time.
We either have a broken route or we just, I think, again, it's a pressure on the quarterback. He kind of throws that thing in the middle. That's a hard throw sometimes, that deep post route. And we always tell our quarterbacks, anytime you throw a middle route, never throw it late. And that time, there were more white shirts there than purple ones, and that's pretty basic and pretty simple, but that's what happened. It was a big turnover.
30 seconds to play, and the clock is moving. The Kingsmen cannot stop the clock, so this will be the last play of the ball game. Pascal will sit on the ball, and you can only hope there's no extracurricular activity after this. Pascal does sit on the ball, and there is no pushing and shoving, and this game is going to end. 21-14 will be the final score. The University of Laverne improved to 2-4 on the year. Cal Lutheran will fall to 1-6 next week. Cal Lutheran will take on Whittier College at Whittier College. They will go on the road to Cedar Rapids, Utah to take on Southern Utah State. They will be home November 17th against San Francisco State. Our next college football game on KDTV will be November 3rd when Cal Poly San Luis Obispo takes on Cal State Northridge. We'll be back with the Cal Lutheran postgame show on KDTV after these messages.
Today's game is sponsored in part by Amici Pizza and Pasta and by Athlete Sports Center.
The summer plant reduction sale now on at Hartley Wholesale Nursery. We've got 40 acres of plants, and now everything is 10 to 40% off. Sea green juniper or blue tam juniper, 5-gallon size, now only $5.37. Ilex vomitoria, specially priced at $1.95. Golden Euonymus, now a low $177. Or pink bottle brush, only $177. Bush crepe myrtle reduced to $6.30. It's the summer plant reduction sale now on at Hartley Wholesale Nursery, corner of Highway 118 and Balcom Canyon Road, Moore Park.
Your Pacific Coast GMC truck dealer in the Westlake Thousand Oaks Auto Center is Silver Star, and they have a special offer. Look for this postcard in the mail featuring the Club Coupe Extended Cab Sonoma pickup. Then come into Silver Star GMC for a cashback rebate of over $1,000 on this specially equipped truck. Just $10,999 after rebate. Look for your postcard and the service discount coupon. Hurry into Silver Star GMC in the Westlake Thousand Oaks Auto Center or see your local Pacific Coast GMC truck dealer today.
They got the sharpest pencil in town, and they just sit around that showroom figuring deals and whittling that old pencil down.
Pacific Coast Ford is the #1 volume dealership in the Tri-Counties. And now get a $500 rebate on all new Escorts, Festivas, Rangers, Tempos, Mustangs, and Probes. Come to Pacific Coast Ford today, 1111 North Oxnard Boulevard.
They got the sharpest pencil in town.
Your best buys are at Long's Drugs with super hot savings store-wide. Long's Drugs with everyday low sale prices, open 7 days a week. Come to Long's today and check out this week's specials. Devil Biss Vaporizer, now a super low $7.99, and Humidifier, now a Long's low $12.99. And all Max Factor makeup, treatments, colors, and fragrances, all 25% off. Your best buys are at Long's Drugs with store-wide savings every day. Visit Long's Drugs for super hot savings.
Lincoln Oaks Village Shopping Center in Thousand Oaks has a wonderful selection of home furnishings, gift items, clothing, dining, and personalized services. The Lincoln Oaks Village Shopping Center is located on West Hillcrest Drive. Stop by and see us today.
From A to Y, Adrays in Ventura is your big-time savings store. Check out fantastic deals on everything from major appliances to personal computers. Like this Panasonic cordless Easophone. From the house, pool, or yard, you can reach out and call someone with Adray's special price of $118.90. Or this Panasonic AM/FM stereo with headphones. It's lightweight with great sound and is now priced at only $17.90. Hurry to Adrays in the Victoria Shopping Center, where there's more in store for you.
Kick butts in 1990. You can do it. We can help. Call 1-800-4-CANCER.
And welcome back. The final score once again from Mount Clef Stadium, the University of Laverne defeating Cal Lutheran on homecoming day for the Kingsmen, 21-14. And Coach Machado, despite the loss by the Kingsmen, one very big positive was the play of Craig Fortin in the second half.
Yeah, before the ball game, he was kind of an unknown quantity. You know, Cal Lutheran wasn't sure what the kid could do probably in game situation. Now they know. Came in, held his own real well, threw the ball pretty well. I thought for the most part they got to be real pleased with his effort and know they got a good backup quarterback in the young man.
Well, again, college football on KDTV. Our next game will be November 3rd. Cal State Northridge playing host to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Boy, that is going to be a terrific football game. Two of the best Division II teams in California. The final score here, once again, the University of Laverne, 21, Cal Lutheran 14. For George Machado, I'm Clay Morgan. So long, everybody. To San Luis Obispo, you're watching KADY TV 63 and KADE TV 33.
Hold on to your briefs. It's time for another episode of K-Mon, starring that hard-working judicial family, the Headleys.
Bring in the first defendant. Will the clerk of the court read the charges?
The People versus Beverly Trapp, soliciting for prostitution.
Is the counsel for defense present?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Then is the prosecutor present? I am, Your Honor.
Wait a minute, you're the judge and the prosecutor?
That's right, I'm also the night court judge, the circuit judge, the tennis court judge, the star search, a good judge of character, and the understudy for Judge Reinhold.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I'll be the judge of that. Mr. Prosecutor, call your first witness. I call my semi-lazical, hardly got 6 jobs son, Byron, to the stand. Hurry up, Rasta boy, you slow as the sap on a coconut tree.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Then who was the girl I seen you with the other night?
What's she talking about? I'll ask the questions here. Bumbo roaster, bumbo clot. Who was the woman you saw her with last night?
She was a prostitute. I was working.
Oh.
And what do you do for a job?
I'm an undercover officer, a parole officer, a narcotics officer, a chief petty officer, a petty chief officer, an officer and a gentleman, and I'm the makeup man for Judge Reinhold.
Now, boy, tell the judge what happened.
I was working as an undercover Japanese businessman. Then this woman, she come whispering something in my ear, something about giving me a job or something.
Oh, so this involves jobs?
It certainly does.
And how many jobs do you do?
I've been known to do, 20 jobs in a night, give or take.
20 jobs in one night? You one hard-working heifer. Case dismissed. I want you to meet me in my chamber. Next.
The People versus Ryan Thomas, armed robbery.
Your Honor, my client says he has an airtight alibi.
Wait, this is a public defender?
That's right. I'm not only the PD, I'm also the DA, a CPA, an EMT, an OBGYN, the MVP of the LPGA, and I am Judge Reinhold. I have a very good makeup man, you know. Your Honor, at the time of the crime, my client was nowhere near the scene.
Yeah, that's right. At least 50 people saw me. I was standing in line to get my unemployment.
Unemployment? You collecting money for not even working? Ooh, that's a crime if I ever heard of one. You lazy, radish, Yankee tough. Get out of my court. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Next.
The State versus Reginald McCourt.
McCourt? What kind of damn name is that for a Rasta?
Black Irish.
And what do you got to say for yourself, leprechaun?
Well, Your Honor, I admit, Your Honesty, I'm a forger, an embezzler, a burglar, a pickpocket, a jaywalker, a shoplifter, a numbers runner, a con man. I tear the labels off of mattresses, and I make illegal copies of Judge Reinhold movies.
Coach Stenographer, how many ting were that, Mr. Lucky Charm say?
10 tings!
10 kings? You one hard-working man. I sentence you to 10 years in hard labor.
Thank you, Your Honesty.
You hear what I said? I said hard labor.
Hey, man!
I sentenced all the headless to 10 years hard labor. Hitter, you gonna make a license plate. Byron, you gonna do the laundry. Matilda, you gonna get in the metal shop. And I gonna work in the chain gang.
Hey!
Shut up, chain gang.